Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Happy Friday. Welcome to Undisputed. We're live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe.
Hi, Jenny.
Hey.
Hi.
How you doing, Jenny?
We've reached the moment of truth here.
You ready to go? What's up?
What do you mean the moment of truth?
Now we find out whether I have a lifetime supply of Diet Mountain Dew or Shannon Sharpe finally finds the comeback trail.
Yeah.
He's still way down, but he could be way back in this after Sunday.
If things go correctly like I think they will, I could cut 7 cases of Dew off this thing.
Wait, do we have an extra one just on this game?
No. We already got it. We betting the
We
case
got
of Dew.
3 and 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus this one.
Oh, you're accepting that? Yes. Thank you. I thought you were going to weasel on that one.
Oh, you thought I was going to let you off the hook?
I thought you were going to moonwalk that one. I thought the other day you said, no, wait a second, I don't know about that one. Really?
I saw you coming, yeah.
Oh, wow. I saw you going.
Yeah, because see, what if I'd have like jumped on it, you like, oh, you know something I don't know.
Oh.
And you'd have backed up out of it.
Oh.
You had to wait till the last spring that trap on you.
I am so scared.
Let's see if that bet was a good decision. We have a lot to get to on today's show, like who will win the Heisman? Skip's guy Kyler or Shannon's guy Tua? And then we've got LeBron. Is he going to bring his buddy Melo to LA? But hey, since you guys are betting about it, let's start with the showdown in Dallas. The Cowboys are a 3.5-point favorite against the Eagles Sunday on Fox. Dallas has won 4 straight, and they're 1 game ahead of Philadelphia in the NFC East. The Cowboys won the first meeting behind 2 touchdowns by Ezekiel Elliott, but that didn't stop the Eagles from talking trash earlier this week. Philly linebacker Kamu Grugier-Hill said, quote, "Look at Dallas's history. They always choke. So we'll go down there and make them choke." Yesterday, Dak Prescott responded. Take a listen.
Do you pay much attention to bulletin board material or what the starting linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles may have said yesterday?
Who?
The starting linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday? Much attention to that?
You know, Coach Garrett has a great saying, and I don't know where he got it from, but winners worry about winning, and losers worry about winners. So we're focused on ourselves in this locker room about what we need to do to get better each and every phase of this game and be ready for this week. We're not worried about he say, she say.
All right, Shannon, who wins on Sunday?
I did like that.
I like that. You're coming around on my guy, Dak, aren't you?
You know, normally he's all bland, you know. Yeah. Who?
I agree.
You know,
Who?
Finally.
I like that.
Who?
I like that, Dak.
And then he finished off with, he said, she said.
Yeah.
So is that maybe?
Get him, Kamu.
Okay, here we go.
You know what, Skip? I'm going to take the Eagles because I think the Eagles understand this is their last stand. They lose this game, their playoffs, the chances of winning division is over. The chance of them going to the playoffs are over because the likelihood of the Cowboys losing 3 of their last 4, you winning 3 of your last 4. But even if that were to happen, Skip, if you lose to the Cowboys, they beat you head-to-head twice. So they win the division, and you're not going to the playoffs as a wild card. So this is your last stand. This is your Waterloo. You think? Did I use that correctly, Waterloo? Yeah, that was Napoleon.
Yep.
Napoleon.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, I mean, except Napoleon lost, so
But he
it's
go
like
with-
disaster.
But you gotta
so
make a
this
statement.
is the Eagles' Waterloo. I will agree with that.
No, this is going to happen in Jerry's world.
Okay.
This needs to happen in Jerry's world. Philly needs to shut down Zeke. They got to stop Zeke. Zeke got off to a great start. He was able to run the football. And so Dak and the Cowboys offense was able to play action off that, had some receivers wide open. And that was really the first coming out party that we got an opportunity to see Amari Cooper, and he paid dividends right away. And so Eagles are going to have to play better defense, Kim. I haven't been impressed with their defense all year. And I don't know why. There's no reason they should have taken this kind of step back, considering they really didn't lose anyone. Fletcher Cox still there. I think they upgraded. They brought in Bennett, Barnett, their first-round draft pick. From 2017, he did get hurt. But Brandon Graham is still there, who had the big strip sack on Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. So there's no reason for this defense to be that bad. They're going to have to play better than what they played on Monday night in order to win this game. You can't allow they let Adrian Peterson go for 90 on 1 carry. You let Zeke get 90 on 1 carry, and he'll have a Derrick Henry type night, what he had last night against the Jacksonville Jaguars. What's concerning with me, Skip, is that the Eagles offense In 2017, they were second in first quarter scoring. In 2018, they're dead last. They're putting themselves behind the 8 ball, and they're having to play catch up. And I think that's what happened last time. Even though walking to him only turned the ball over once, it was the first quarter.
Who's walking to him again?
You know who walking to him.
I don't know. I
is.
remember. It's getting foggy to me.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
well, he'll refresh your memory on Sunday.
He dribbles it to him. He bounces it to him. He overthrows them. Can we change the nickname?
No.
Okay.
Well, you'll remember. You'll remember his name. When you come in here on Monday, you will know exactly who I was referencing when I said walk it to him wins. You'll know. You're going to apologize.
I believe he'll be the first name I say on Monday for all the wrong reasons for you.
You're gonna say,
that's what I think.
You're going to he makes me sick. But anyway, and Dougie P, aggressive by nature, he's going to empty the playbook. You might have old Philly special in it. Yeah, Skip. He's going to break out something special for you guys.
Is he going to go with Nick Foles? If they're going Nick Foles, I'm in trouble. Go ahead.
You know what? Why you do that?
I'm just telling you, I'm in trouble if you go with Foles.
We're not going with
No
Foles.
way? Okay.
Foles had his great run. He went to Disney.
It was a great run.
He got it up too, so it's over for him. But I like the Eagles 24-20 in an upset of the Cowboys and to take possession of first place in the NFC East.
So, Jenny, here we go.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
I want to compliment my partner across the table for not waffling, for not moonwalking, for not begging off. He's coming with guns blazing. He is showing confidence, even though I know deep down he's not really exuding, feeling real confident.
I'm not as confident as I was to start the season.
Yep.
I'm not as confident as I was, say, 5 weeks ago.
So, I will agree with you. This is going to be a battle because these are the defending Super Bowl champions fighting for their lives.
Right.
They're fighting for some respect. They're fighting in a town that can turn on you just as quickly as they can love you, they can boo you. They can throw snowballs at Santa Claus at you. And in this case, they have to win this game, as you just pointed out. And I believe my Dallas Cowboys will win this game. And I'm going to go with the same score as they beat the Eagles by in Philadelphia, 27-20. And my bottom line is to you, my Cowboys are simply playing at a little higher level on offense and especially on defense than your Eagles are.
Yeah.
So all I know is my Cowboys just had 10 days to recover from as stunning and impressive a victory as I have ever witnessed in my time watching the Dallas Cowboys, which is pretty much their entire history. They just held Drew Brees, who was in the midst of having the greatest quarterback year ever, the #1 offense in the NFL. They held all of that to 10 points on a Thursday night game played right here on Fox, right?
You know what I love about that, Skip? Because you had 10 days for everybody to pat you on the back and tell you how good you are,
Maybe
starting
so.
with you.
10 points, 10 days. Maybe it all dovetails. I don't know. My team only scored 13, but that was enough to defeat Drew Brees. And again, my takeaway from the game, my everlasting memory of this game is that every other Drew Brees game I've ever watched, 4 or 5 times a game, you will see a receiver running wide open and he will hit him right in the breadbasket, right?
Yep.
In this game, not one time did I ever see Drew Brees have a wide open receiver. Not one time in 4 quarters. That speaks highly of my defense that came of age. It's still young, but it came of age that night. And I still believe that Amari Cooper has changed life in Dallas, Texas. He has opened up everything for 2 of the better playmakers in all of football. And I'm talking about big playmakers in Dak and Zeke. Especially Dak, warrior, winner. Still can't get over that throw he made at Philadelphia. 3rd and 8 from the Eagles' 34-yard line to Allen Hurns, who's sort of dropped out of the rotation at this point because of Amari. But big playmakers, both of them, behind an offensive line that finally has gelled and clicked and detonated because of the coaching change in the bye week. Remember that?
Yeah.
Mark Colombo took over. Hudson Houck is now the advisor, and all of a sudden it came back together, and I'm going to remind you, Tyron Smith, who hasn't played the last 2 games, is supposed to be able to play this week. So that will be a little even more upgrade. Now, what do I fear about the Philadelphia Eagles? 3 things. Zach Ertz, and Zach Ertz. That's what I fear about the Eagles.
Who's throwing to Zach Ertz?
The guy who is codependent on him, the guy who is his best friend, Carson Wentz, who considers him a security blanket, who just locks onto him every 3rd and 7. He's going to throw it to 86. And I promise you, on Sunday afternoon and evening, I will be screaming at my TV on 3rd and 5, it's going to Ertz. Just cover Zach Ertz. I don't know, maybe their plan is just let him eat and try to take everybody else away like you do against maybe LeBron or some big scorer, Michael Jordan. You say, just let him have his and we'll make sure nobody else gets theirs.
Right.
Well, guess how much he ate against Dallas and Philadelphia? He had 14 catches, did Zach Ertz, for 145 yards. Those are beyond Shannon Sharpe tight end numbers.
No.
14 for 145 and 2 tubs?
Oh, 14, I'd have had like 180.
Yeah. 180?
Yeah.
So you just discounted Zach Ertz?
No, Zach Ertz played unbelievable.
Do you realize that was the greatest game of his career? Do you realize those are all season highs for him? Do you realize those numbers are the most by a tight end in the last 4 NFL seasons? That's what Zach Ertz did against
You'll
Dallas.
get another one like that too.
Okay, but they won. Somehow Dallas overcame that to win 27-20.
Okay.
So to me, I don't know. Can the Wolf Hunter take him? I'm talking about the tackling Dutchman. I'm talking about you-know-who, Leighton Vander Esch.
Oh, that's your guy, huh?
Can he cover Zach?
No.
Will they just say you got Zach one-on-one?
No.
I don't know.
They'll probably give him some help. They'll probably have him underneath and have Jeff Heath over the top of this situation.
Maybe.
Over him. But you know what, Skip? Look, and to give the Cowboys defense credit, they're playing unbelievable. And they also forced Drew Brees to do something I think I hadn't seen Drew Brees do. They forced him to flinch. Because they started dialing up the pressure early, they got to him early, and that interception at the end of the ball game was a direct result of the immense pressure placed on Drew Brees throughout the entirety of the game. He's like, I'm tired of getting hit. I don't want to get any hit anymore, so I'm going to back up out of here. I'm going to throw off my back foot. I'm going to be a little late with the ball, throw it a little behind him, and the game's going to be over. But don't walk it to him, Skip. He's from South Dakota.
Glad you brought that up. So that brings me to walk
North
it to
Dakota,
him.
my bad.
Yeah, North Dakota.
North Dakota, yeah.
So here's the point. They just gave Carson Wentz yet another weapon in Golden Tate. And I fear Golden Tate too, because he's been tough on Dallas because back, you remember September 30th?
Yep.
Golden Tate went 8 catches for 132 yards, a 45-yard touchdown in the first quarter, and a 38-yard touchdown late in the game that looked like it had won the game until Clutch Dak went to Clutch Zeke for the big connection that set up the walk-off field goal and overcame Golden Tate, who is now a Philadelphia Eagle. And to quote the great Shannon Sharpe, he was sort of made to be a Philadelphia Eagle.
Was.
He's lunch pail, blue collar,
He is.
in green. And it looks like he was born to wear that green. He wore it in Seattle. Now he looks really good in it in Philadelphia.
Wore it in Notre Dame also.
Yeah, he did. That's a good point. And speaking of Notre Dame, they found an undrafted free agent from Notre Dame. He weighs 225 pounds, named Josh Adams. And he's given them a semblance of a run game, right?
Yes,
so
he
the
has.
last 2 games, he went 22 carries for 84 yards. And then the other day against Washington, 20 for 85. So, again, they haven't had that, right?
And they get Sproles back. Sproles had a 14-yard touchdown run, so he'll help.
He'll help a little bit. Now to the quarterback. I'm sorry, but Carson Wentz is not playing at nearly as high a level as he did last year until he got hurt, unfortunately. I don't know if his knee still troubles him psychologically, but he's not moving the way he used to move. He can't hurt you with his legs quite the way he was hurting people with his legs last year. And I may eat these words, but I'm going to spit them out on the table right now.
Careful.
I just don't fear him. I just don't. I'm sorry. I believe, I'll go on record right now, Carson Wentz will make at least one big mistake that will turn the tide in this game because he made it at Philadelphia early.
Yeah.
He threw an interception. And there's just something about him I don't quite trust. And I am not kidding when I tell you, if Nick Foles were the quarterback, I would be more fearful of the Eagles.
Stop it.
He can operate that offense better than
No, he
Carson
can't.
Wentz. I'm sorry.
Skip, you take 2 games. You
I'm
see what
just
2 games
standing,
get you?
I stand by what I say. I just feel it in my bones that Carson Wentz isn't all that. He is more W-I-N-C-E than W-E-N-T.
He's all that
whatever it
and
is.
then some.
Well, okay, we'll see. This is it. This
And you
is
keep
big
talking.
stage.
Guess what? Carson Wentz is not playing at the MVP level he's playing at last year. I will give you that. But even if that's the case, he's still playing at a higher level than Dak has played all year.
Sorry.
That's fact.
You know what? That's just wrong, because if you really break down Dak Prescott, all he does is make big key plays. They won't translate into big QBRs this year.
Why not?
Because
the guy was that first. The guy was that. Oh, remember last year he finished third, and the year after that,
third to fourth.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Okay.
Third and fourth. So why not now? He has better weapons. Is Amari Cooper not better than Dez?
I don't think he has nearly the weapons that he used to have.
So is Amari Cooper better than Dez Bryant? A simple yes or a simple no will suffice.
Than Dez was last year? Or in general? In his career?
No.
I don't think he's better than career Dez.
Okay, how about this?
Not 2014 Dez, 2013 Dez.
Is Amari Cooper currently better than Dez Bryant has ever been for Dak Prescott?
For Dak Prescott? Yes.
Okay,
yes,
then.
for Dak.
So why is Dak Prescott's QBR going down if he has a better weapon?
Remember, it's starting to go up because they've won 4 in a row, and his QBR keeps ticking up with Amari because Amari's changed life.
Can it get any lower? He's already at the bottom of the barrel. Because remember, Skip, at one time it was 28.
Do you realize he had nobody to throw to? He has no tight. He still doesn't have a tight end. You got Zach Ertz.
You like Jeff Swain.
Yeah.
You told me you like him. You told me you like
He's
Blake
he's
Jarwin.
out.
What
I
about
don't
Blake
like.
Jarwin?
I don't like Blake.
Oh, well,
Jarwin.
you
I never
like
said that.
Rico. Oh, big
Rico
old
doesn't get a
Rico.
chance. If they give him a chance, he'd rise and shine.
Hold on. What did your owner say? If he could remember the plays, we give him a chance.
Well, he's a basketball player.
Well, damn, you got to remember plays in basketball too, don't you?
Yeah, I guess so. True. But for whatever reason, it hasn't clicked. So who has the better receiving weapons? It's not even close.
Amari Cooper.
Your guy does.
No.
Oh, your guy. Oh, wait, hold on. Zach Ertz, Alshon, Aguilar, Golden Tate on top of that? Yeah. Really?
No,
who do you like?
But
who do you like better?
No,
it's not even close.
I do you like you do me.
I got Amari, and occasionally I got little measly Beasley.
I've been trying to tell you that for the longest, because that's what you do to me, Skip. I say, all I got is LeBron James and everybody else. And the Warriors got Steph and Clay and Draymond and all this. You're like, so? He's the best player, right? So if Amari Cooper...
Wait, I appreciate that very much. You just compared Dak Prescott to LeBron James.
No!
Thank you!
No, I said Amari Cooper.
Thank you! No!
I didn't say
it's about the quarterback who has the most weapons.
Don't do that,
Well,
Skip.
you just did it. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know what? Dak's big stage.
Who got a better
play.
QBR? Who got a better QBR?
Yeah, all I know
Dak
is
Prescott or Carson Wentz?
Dak Prescott's going to make plays with his legs that Carson can no longer make.
Can I get Zeke?
Huh?
Can I have Zeke?
Now, that's one thing I do have. I got Zeke.
Exactly.
And
that's what you've always had.
You do have Josh Adams, though. Huh? Well, at least you got a hammer. You got somebody who can at least control the football and keep it away from Dak.
So you heard what he's saying? You got Josh Adams. I don't give a damn if I got Brian Adams, who can sing. I want Zeke Elliott.
I don't like
Give
Brian
me Zeke
Adams.
Elliott.
Just me. You can have Brian Adams.
No, I want Zeke Elliott as my running back in Philly.
Brian Adams, he's on my jukebox from hell, but that's okay.
But anyway,
now, sorry about that, Brian.
Skip, listen. For every reason, I'm just like, okay, this is the last stand. The Cowboys should win this game by 10 to 14 points. They have.
Is that what you're
No.
flipping?
No. I'm not flipping. No, I'm not flipping.
I think you got a little flip in your.
No. I just believe that the Eagles will show something, that they're not going down without a fight. They realize that it's either Sunday at 4:25, 4:30, or it's never, because they're not going as a wild card. There will be no wild card representative from this division.
Probably
you
not.
either win the division, or you're going home once the season's over. And I believe they will show that Philly toughness, that what helped them win the Super Bowl last year. And guess what, Skip? They the underdog. You know what? Olane like being the underdog.
They gonna pull the mask out again?
They might.
Huh? Are they the equivalent of your goat mask, the underdog mask?
And old Howie's son, Craig Long, will be coming off that edge.
Yeah.
He'll get a couple of holding calls on Lyle Collins.
Maybe.
He'll get a sack.
Maybe.
And
I agree with you. The Eagles were great underdogs last year, but you know what? They've been lousy, prohibitive favorites because they were prohibitive to win this division.
And Dak Prescott
right?
I got a feeling, I could jinx myself here, but I got a sneaky suspicion.
Yeah.
Dak gonna put the ball on the ground at least once.
At least once?
At least once.
Well, he does just about every game. That's you're just like speaking in average, right?
Why is that?
Not really a bold
Why
prediction.
is that?
I don't know. Small hands? I don't know.
I don't know
Trying
about-
to do too much?
Why?
Maybe.
Whoa. Hold on. Since when does the quarterback, the greatest player, you tell me the best player can never do too much. That's what you tell me all the time. Isn't that what he tell me, Jen?
Yeah.
The best player can never do too much. So why is Dak Prescott, if he's your best player, how could he ever do too much?
Well, he's trying to overcome the fact that he's only had one credible receiver, and that's just for the last 4 games.
If you that guy, I know, hold on, you tell me Drew Brees don't have anybody but Michael Thomas.
That's true. But
And
are we putting Dak in the Drew Brees conversation?
You did that all the time.
Thank you.
You told me.
Thank you. You keep reaching for LeBron and Drew Brees. I think you fear Dak more than you are letting on. Your subconscious keeps reaching for greatness.
No, you keep telling me
Yep.
that Dak is Brady-esque.
You've
been telling me that since he entered into the league. But then you
85 yards in 16 plays, 82 in 18 plays. That's what he does.
Fumble for a game-ending win for the opposing team.
Okay.
Pick.
Yeah.
Did you see him on Thanksgiving last year, Skip?
Are we going back to last year?
And that's what you do to me?
Are you kidding? You are really scrambling now.
What's
You're
your record?
flailing.
If you don't ask me, what's your record? 75, right?
5. Yeah, we're going 4 in a row.
So,
That's all I
don't
care about.
pretend,
4 in a row.
don't pretend like he's been Jared Goff and Pat Mahomes all year. Can we go back this year?
Don't pretend that Carson Wentz has been Jared Goff or Patrick Mahomes at any point this year.
Thank
you very much.
He's been hurt a little bit.
He's been hurt a little bit.
But that's okay.
So, you know what?
He'll heal up against you guys.
All I care about is I love it that the Eagles managed to escape and win their last 2 games. I needed them so that my team would not overlook them. My team would take them dead seriously. And I love it that some unknown linebacker called them chokers, called the Dallas Cowboys that they always choke, and we're going to go down there and make them choke. And you know what? I love it that Doug Peterson tried to defuse that quote on the conference call with the Dallas reporters yesterday by saying that quote was, quote unquote, unfortunate. That's what Doug Peterson said about this quote.
He did.
And I love Dak's response of, who? Who? And you loved it.
You know what, Skip? I got the article right here. And this is a lie detector. No lie detected. He didn't lie.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And I loved it that I don't know where Jason Garrett got this quote from, and I'm not sure I love it that it came from Jason Garrett because I'm not sure he can back it up. But the whole idea of what Dak said.
I liked it.
Winners worry about winning, and losers worry about winners.
It
sounds like the losers are worrying about the
Wait
winners right now.
a
The
minute.
losers are worrying about the winners.
Coach Belichick can say that.
Oh.
Jason Garrett can't use that quote.
Well, you know what? My team has caught fire, and every year we see one team just catch fire out of nowhere.
You keep hoping.
No, I don't
keep
keep. I
hoping.
keep seeing. That's what I am seeing it with my eyes. I am tasting it with my lips.
Oh, I'm glad.
Diet Mountain Dew is about to flow from the heavens.
You know what's Skip?
From the heavens.
You're right.
I'm going to drown in dew. Thank you.
You are absolutely right. There is a team that's caught fire that's come out of nowhere. They started the season 0-3, and they've won 9 straight. That would be the Houston Texans. Oh, that's the one team. That's the team.
Really?
The team that beat your team. Remember on that Sunday night, Skip? When you came in here all upset?
Yeah, and it went to the bitter end in overtime. That's what it took.
Loud.
You should have known that night, here come the Cowboys.
And old Marcus Mariota did a number on y'all, too.
Yeah. Did we have Amari Cooper at that point? I think not.
Yeah, you
That
did.
has made a
You had
difference.
Amari Cooper because you threw a pick to him in the end zone. Remember?
No, that was against Tennessee.
That's what I said. You had
No, I thought you were talking about
No.
Texas.
Oh, no, you got multiple losses. I can just keep going and going. You want me to go on and on? Against Washington, you lost that one.
I feel
good.
real good.
The bet
about
is on the
Sunday.
table.
Yep.
Now we just have to play the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll see. All right, who will win the Heisman tomorrow? Skip's guy Kyler or Shannon's guy Tua?
This is over.
Maybe another bet coming. We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
Support for Undisputed comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans, America's premier home purchase lender. Let's talk about buying a home. It can be one of the most important purchases you'll ever make. But today's fluctuating interest rates can leave you with unexpected higher payments, which can turn a great experience into an anxious one. That's why Quicken Loans created their exclusive power buying process. Here's how it works. They check your income, assets, and credit to give you a verified approval. This gives you the strength of a cash buyer, making your offer more attractive to sellers. Once verified, you qualify for their exclusive Rate Shield approval. They'll lock your interest rate for up to 90 days while you shop for your new home. Then, once you've found the one, if rates have gone up, your rate stays the same. But if rates have gone down, you get to keep that new lower rate. Either way, you win. It's the kind of thinking you'd expect from America's largest mortgage lender. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/undisputed. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year purchase transactions. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply. Based on Quicken Loans data in comparison to public data records. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
No mercy.
The Heisman race is coming down to the wire between Kyler Murray and Tua Tagovailoa. Murray has a slight edge going into tomorrow's announcement, according to the odds makers. But the QBs split 4 major awards at last night's college football ceremony. Tua was favored to win the Heisman most of the season, but he struggled against Georgia in the SEC championship game before injuring his ankle. So let's look at the numbers between these two quarterbacks this season. Kyler Murray has more passing yards, more touchdowns, more rushing yards, but he did throw more interceptions than Tua. And of course, Tua's Alabama team was a perfect 13-0 this season. So Shannon, you look at the numbers, you look at the season,
And be honest.
Who wins the Heisman?
I believe Tua should and will win the Heisman. You look at what he's able to do. And Skip liked to use the term degree of difficulty. He used that quite often.
Please use it on this argument. I dare you.
You gonna let me?
I'm waiting.
Oh, yeah, if you waited while you interrupted
I can't believe you just walked into a trap you set.
No, you said it.
Huh?
Skip tells me he loves to use the term degree of difficulty. I believe Tua's degree of difficulty playing in the SEC. Now, I don't know if you watched the College Award show last night, Jenny, but let me tell you what happened.
Yeah.
The Thorpe Award winner, which
Okay.
is the nation's best defensive back.
True.
The Buckets Award winner, which is the nation's best linebacker. The McNary, which is Defensive Player of the Year. And the Gursky Award winner. All of those came from the SEC. That's what Tua is going up against.
How many were Alabama players? Wait, how many were his teammates?
Skip.
His teammates.
Jenny,
I know.
Jenny, can you instruct Skip not to interrupt me? It's so unbecoming.
Okay, sorry. Shannon, continue, please.
Thank you. 7 of the top 25 scoring defenses in the country resides in the SEC. Guess how many top 25 scoring defenses reside in the Big 12, Skip Bayless? You can answer if you like.
Well, it's because they have all the top offenses in that league.
Oh, so you're not allowed to play. So if you have a top offense. So in other words, Alabama should not be allowed to have the number 2 offense in football and a top 5 defense in football. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm telling you, the SEC was down this year by all metrics and measurements.
Well, the metrics said they had the number 1 conference in all of football. That's what the metrics say. They have the best defensive players. That's what the awards say.
They all play for Alabama.
No, Skip. No. The Buckets Award winner went to Kentucky. The McNary Award winner went to a guy from Kentucky. The Thorpe Award winner went to Georgia, who they just played and beat in the SEC title game. Now, with that being said, Skip, can you please not interrupt it? Again, Tua sat out fourth quarter. He sat out the equivalent of 2.5 ball games.
Because they're all mismatches. I'm sorry,
Skip, when you play at Alabama, unless you play in the Cleveland Browns or the Patriots, everybody's a mismatch.
Oh.
So would you
Except
please
Georgia.
Have we beaten Georgia twice? We beat them for the national championship, and we beat them for the SEC title.
But that was last year.
We just played them last week for the SEC title.
I'm saying you beat them last year.
Okay.
You shouldn't have beat them this time.
I don't do what we should have done.
Okay.
Now, can I carry on? Had Tua played the 10 quarters that he sat out in the fourth quarter, keeping his current pace at which he was throwing touchdowns. Jenny, did you realize that's an extra 9 touchdowns? So instead of 37, that would be 46.
So they would have won 60-7 instead of 50-7?
No. He would have had 46 passing touchdowns as opposed to 37.
That's called stuffing the stat sheet. Go ahead.
I don't. Skip.
It's called running up the score is what it is.
And that's what Coach Saban doesn't do. Coach Saban has dignity. But what he's done, he's taken a coach that's won 5 national championships at Alabama, and he's turned it into the formula that, when you talk Alabama, you no longer the first thing out of your mouth is not paying bone-crushing defenses. Is that you see that high-flying offense? They're the number 2 scoring offense in all of football, averaging 48 points a game. So, the 2018 recipient of the Heisman Trophy goes to University of Alabama, Tua Tagovailoa.
And I would like to bet one more case of due on that. I'll take Kyler for one case. Will you accept, Mr. Sharpe?
Go ahead and make your argument. Let me see what your argument sounds like.
Really?
Okay.
Oh, so somebody's got cold feet.
No, I got a cold feet.
Because you've said for weeks this is over,
is.
right? And now it doesn't look so over because my guy, Kyler Murray, is the Las Vegas betting favorite. And I know they split the awards, and you can interpret that many different ways.
I think we'll have a historically close race.
Okay, we probably will, and they both deserve their share of accolades because both had a great year until the SEC championship game. But Kyler Murray should win it, and he will win the Heisman Trophy because Kyler Murray just finished with the greatest QBR season in quarterback history in college football, the greatest ever. Every time Kyler Murray touched the football, throwing it or running it, he averaged 11 yards per play. He averaged more than a first down every time he touched the football. And his offense merely set the all-time record in college football for yards per play. And this is where I just close the case. Kyler Murray carried the worst good team defense in college football history all the way to the playoffs. That's impossible because the Oklahoma defense, and I watched every snap of every game, and I dreaded watching every snap because the Oklahoma defense finished in pass defense 129th of 130 FBS schools. 129 of 130, and somehow Kyler Murray lifted that defense into the fourth playoff slot. It's just impossible.
And guess what, Skip?
So, I think it's my turn. Okay. So in points allowed, Oklahoma finished 96th in the nation. Think about that. 96th. They weren't even in the top 100. Alabama finished 4th in points allowed. 4th versus 96. So Tua never had any pressure on his shoulder pads to have to outscore the opposition.
There's always pressure. You're at Alabama.
Kyler Murray knew nearly every game he had to score 50-something to win the game because he's going to have to outscore 40-something or maybe 50-something as it was that night at West Virginia. That Friday night, was he not sensational in the clutch?
He got outplayed by Will Greer, who threw for 550 and 5 touchdowns.
59 to 56. Oklahoma 59, Will Greer 56. Way to go.
What about Oklahoma's defense?
It was
How many touchdowns did they get?
It was horrendous. It was just horrendous.
Go ahead, make it
So, Kyler Murray finished with 51 total touchdowns to Tua's 42. 51 to 42.
9 quarters he didn't play, Skip.
Okay, that's
true.
A pretty big drop-off. And this is sad but true. Kyler closed his case by saving his very best for last. Because in the Big 12 championship game, he avenged OU's lone loss.
He did.
By throwing for 379 yards with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions against Texas. That's a QBR of 93.
That was unbelievable.
While Tua had a nightmare game against Georgia. His first credible opponent all year was Georgia. And Tua goes 10 for 25 for 164 yards with 2 interceptions.
Skip.
His QBR that day against Georgia was 15. That's a scale of 0 to 100. So Kyler's worst QBR of the whole year was 75. Tua's last Saturday was 15. And if Tua hadn't, unfortunately, I'm knocking on wood for him, if he hadn't gotten hurt, Alabama might not have made it to the championship, to the playoffs, because Alabama would have lost that game.
Okay.
Sorry.
You said Kyler avenged in the Big 12 championship. Jenny, can I ask you a question? I don't really know what the meaning of avenge is. Can you avenge something if it never happened? Because Alabama don't have to avenge anything because they never lost.
Yeah.
Good point.
Okay, Skip, you made a very interesting point.
They had no test the whole year. They finally played a credible opponent in Georgia, and what happened?
It's my turn, Skip.
I think you interrupted my turn.
No, I didn't. You were finished. You said, go ahead. Okay, Skip. You say yards per play, pass or rush. Kyler averaged 11 yards, which led the nation. If you don't mind, tell the people who was number 2 at home. The guy was there 52nd. Can you tell the people who finished 2nd? Because you're making it seem like Tua finished 75th.
I didn't say anything about Tua.
Oh, Tua was right there behind him at 10.48.
Okay, but
So
again,
both of them averaged the first down every time they touched the ball, either pass or run.
I'll repeat, 51 touchdowns to 42 touchdowns because the single most electrifying runner in all of college football this year is the Heisman Trophy winner, Kyler Murray. Trust me on this. I've been watching this game for a long time, and I don't think I'm even going out on a limb to tell you this. The quickest feet I've ever seen in a runner in college football is not Barry Sanders. It's not Michael Vick. It's certainly not Lamar Jackson, who's more straight line speed. He has to get unwound a little bit. It's Kyler Murray.
Skip.
I've never seen more electric feet.
Skip.
I'm talking about.
Exactly. He's 4'3". He's 4'3". I mean, how many steps do you think he's
Look
supposed to
Look at
take?
this. He's just gone.
Skip.
Just gone.
He's not 4'3".
Gone.
Okay, my bad, Jenny. I misspoke. I'm sorry.
I've interviewed him.
Exactly.
Pretty close.
You hear what Jenny said? Now,
Jenny interviewed him.
Jenny interviewed him,
Yeah.
and Jenny is 5'8",
Yeah.
and Jenny said he looked me eye to eye.
Look at the feet. Look at the feet.
Jenny said normally when I interview people, I got to stand on the apple crate. She said when I talked to Tyler Murray, I had to take my heels off.
Yeah, you're trying to
what Jenny told me.
distract the viewers from what we're watching. Look, this is against Texas. This got them back in the game. Jenny was there.
Hold up.
She was there.
Hold up.
It was
It got
spectacular.
you back in the game. Jenny,
Bye.
can you tell the people who what
Bye.
happened in the Red River
We'll see
Ride?
you later.
Who won that game?
Yeah,
Texas.
bye. Yeah.
So you keep telling me that Oklahoma.
My defense gave up, what was it,
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
48?
whoa, 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 whoa.
48?
Oh,
To
no.
Sam Ellinger?
Too many.
Sam Ellinger's not that good.
Did Kyler Murray turn the ball over 2 times?
He did.
So he went a long way in helping Texas win the game. Okay, Skip, you know what, Skip? I just love
You know
Man,
what?
you a
It's
good
over.
dude.
It's over.
No, it's not.
You know what? It would be a shame if Kyler Murray didn't win the
No, it
Heisman.
would not be
After
no
all
shame.
he's done for
Stop
that team, it would
Don't
be
do
a
that, Skip.
shame.
You keep
it just
telling-
would be.
You see what he tries to do, Jed? He's like, well, Oklahoma had the 90th ranked scoring defense in all the nation.
96th.
96. Everybody he's going up against was in the 80s.
Hmm.
So what's the difference?
Yeah. So the last 4 games before the Big 12 championship game, that defense allowed 40-plus points in 4 straight wins for Oklahoma. That's impossible.
And West Virginia got jobbed.
Got job?
And you know who led the nation in scoring defense, Skip? You know who led the nation in scoring defense? Mississippi State led the nation in scoring defense. Alabama hung 24 on them and shut them out.
Yeah.
Way to go. Well, that's impressive.
LSU finished 21st in scoring defense. Had they not given up
I don't think LSU could score on Oklahoma. That's how bad their offense is.
Oklahoma definitely wouldn't be scoring on them.
Yeah,
Now you skip.
Kyler Murray will pick anybody to pieces because he can throw it as well as he runs.
Well, we're going to find out December 29th.
This
I want you
You know
to
what?
Now
This,
keep that
this is the greatest dual threat I've ever seen in college football.
Now remember,
dual threat.
Now when we come in here and we discuss this game, I don't want to hear anything because you just said Kyler Murray can pick anybody apart. He's going to get an opportunity to do what you said he can do against anybody on December 29th, Jenny. Now you heard him say it.
Yeah.
And very likely his best receiver is gone for the season.
I don't want to hear that.
Well, very likely.
Oh, so now you.
And all I want to hear is it Jalen Hurts or Tua? Because if it's Jalen Hurts, I'm in trouble. If it's Tua, maybe I got a shot.
Okay. No.
Yeah,
Tua don't play
yep.
defense. Tua doesn't play defense.
Tua lost his way, his
You told
edge,
me-
his momentum.
You just told-
I think he lost his confidence against Georgia. I've never seen such a disaster.
Playing
For such a
Oklahoma, you
good-
get it right back.
Huh.
First drive, you get it right back playing
Well, he
Oklahoma.
should.
No, should.
The 129th ranked pass defense?
They
How
gotta
do you
do-
get that team in the
That ain't
playoffs?
got- that don't have anything to do
How
with
do you get them in there? I want to know.
You
How do
told
you
me-
do
you
that?
just said that
it's the greatest
Kyler Murray-
feat ever.
You just said Kyler Murray can pick anybody apart. He's going to get a chance to prove your theory correct on December 29th.
All I know is he got them in the playoffs, which was it's an all-time. He has all-time feat, FEET, and it was an all-time FEAT. That's what happened.
Jenny said, Shannon, when I interviewed him, I had to take my heels off. She said, I'm
did
standing
not
in my
say that.
I didn't say
I'm
heels
standing in
off.
my pantyhose dirty because I don't want to towel over it.
Who wears pantyhose?
I'm just saying, Jenny, just go
Okay.
with it. Jenny,
Not
go with
me.
It. Jenny, go with it. Go
Not
with
me.
it.
Well, I like Kyler. It's hard to go with you on this one.
Jenny, don't do that. But anyway.
He's 5'10".
I bet if they measure him at the
generous
conference, I
5'10".
guarantee
I
they
think it's a generous 5'10".
Generous. So whatever they list you, because they lift Baker Mayfield at 6'2". How tall was he when the actual combine, Skip? 6 1/4.
All
so
I know
they say
is
he's 5'10", he's 5'8" ,3/4.
I'll go on record. Kyler Murray could be as good as Russell Wilson has been in pro football. That's how good he could be. I bet he
And at least we have a compelling race, which is way more exciting. And just to acknowledge, if Kyler wins, he's planning to play pro baseball, which is incredible, the athleticism, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit.
I'm out. One last Do or no do?
Uh-oh.
Are you
Do
going
or
to do
no
the
do?
do?
We got another topic coming up, so
Oh,
Really?
so somebody is afraid. Thank you. I think I just won that one.
you ain't win nothing.
Way to go, Kyler.
You
Congratulations.
Didn't win anything. You didn't win anything.
Well,
Okay, we got a lot of bets coming today.
No mercy.
The Patriots are a 7.5-point favorite on the road against Miami on Sunday, but the Patriots have not done well down in South Florida. New England has lost 4 of the last 5 games in Miami, and Tom Brady has just 4 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions in those games. Think about those numbers. It's interesting. Shannon, will this be another bad game in Miami for good old Tom Brady?
I mean, you could have taken it a step further. Tom Brady only has 4 touchdowns in his last 5 regular season games. Let that sink in for a second. But this is the man that Skip Bayless said should be in the MVP discussion. Don't you say a word. No, put your hand down. No, I'm not calling on you. I'm not calling on you. Put your
Jenny?
hand down.
no.
I mean,
What,
can we
Skip?
give him?
I'm asking
no?
teacher.
What's up? What
I'm
do you
asking.
okay.
Are you calling on me?
Yeah.
I'll take another
Sorry.
case of Diet Dew on Tom Brady this Sunday
Told
at his
you.
House of Horrors in Miami.
No.
Way to go. Boy,
No.
you are
Will-
moonwalking.
Will there be another slip up? No. Miami just isn't good enough. This is only be the 3rd game back for Ryan Tannehill, and I don't know if that's good or bad.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of people saying that Brock Osweiler should still be in there, and anytime Brock Osweiler is an answer, you probably should be asking a different question. But anyway, the thing is, this is what the Patriots always force you to do. They force you to execute your game plan, both offensively, defensively, and in the kicking game, for 4 quarters. They keep that pressure on you because you know they're going to execute. They're going to be where they're supposed to be. They're going to do what they're supposed to do. And they're not going to beat themselves. They're not going to get a whole lot of pre-snap penalties, which put themselves behind the 8 ball. That's what they're not going to do. So the question is, can you keep your focus for 60 minutes? And most teams can't. Now, look, I get it. You know, Patriots they struggle when they go down there. Because normally when they go down there, Patriots have been practicing in the cold and the sleet and the rain for the last month. And so it's in the 20s. It could be anywhere from 50 to 20 degrees. They normally go to Miami, and this time of year, and it's 115. And so it takes it out of them. But that's not the case. Skip, you know the Miami is not the same Miami. Look, think about it. They got 6 wins this year. They got 2 against the Jets. Can I interest you in that? Probably couldn't.
No.
But what about the Raiders? You like the Raiders? Worst team in football. What about the Bills? Now, they do have a quality. They got to win over Tennessee. But the game was rain delayed. Tennessee had gotten dressed, got on the bus, gone to the airport to fly home. The NFL called them back and said, we got to finish the game. So they had to turn around from the airport, come all the way back, get undressed, and finish a game that was a 6.5-hour rain delay. You know,
Wait, what happened 2 weeks ago at Indy? What happened 2 weeks ago at Indy in Ryan Tannehill's first game back? What happened? Was Miami not ahead 24-14 in the 4th quarter when Indy was flying high?
And they're still flying high.
Yeah.
Because they beat them. That's what I'm saying. Hold up, you're making my point, Skip. I keep telling you. The New England Patriots forced you to execute for the entire 4 quarters. You just said they were up 24-14, which should have been a done deal. And it wasn't. Thank you for making my point.
You done?
No, I'm not. So.
Not yet.
I think you are done.
New England wins this ball game. I know you try to get a little sucker bet. I'll take a case of do for Brady's House of Horrors. No, you won't. You're not going to get no cheap case of do with me because I'm picking New England to win this game.
Okay.
And they're going to win by 10.
By 10.
10.
So, 1 year ago, almost today, it was on Monday Night Football. What happened to Tom Brady at Miami? What happened? You love Jay Cutler. Not. Right? No. You have little to no respect for Jay Cutler, and just a year ago, it was 27-20, Jay Cutler over Tom Brady, and Jay Cutler threw for 263 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and it was House of Horrors. And I just want, for our loyal viewers' sake, to go back to 2015, the disaster that happened, thanks to Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick got the all-time pass for what he did. Down the stretch, they had 2 games. They needed to win one of those 2 to secure home field through the playoffs. This is 2015. The first one was at the Jets. What happened in overtime after Tom Brady had led a last-ditch clutch drive to tie the score and force overtime? Bill Belichick won the overtime toss and deferred. He deferred. He took the ball out of Tom Brady's hands and said, no, I think we'll play my thing. We'll play defense, and they lost. And then they went to Miami.
He didn't have confidence in Tom that he could do it.
Maybe not. I don't know. And you're exactly right. So they go down to Miami. And you know what happened? They left the snowy cold for the drippy heat, and it's just a culture shock. It just shocks your whole body.
It is.
And all of a sudden, first half in that game, guess how many passes Tom Brady was allowed to throw? How about 5? He completed 4 of them for a grand total of 20 yards because he threw one 20-yard completion. So he had one completion in the first half. They ran the football 21 times because he took the ball once again out of Tom Brady's hands.
I thought Coach Belichick explained it to you why he did that.
I don't remember anything.
He said his offensive line was beat up and he didn't want to get Tom beat up.
Okay, well, he got him rocked in the second half because Tom had to throw it in the second half. And Olivier Vernon and Sue were all over him. They hit him, knocked him down 8 different times in that football game.
Yeah.
And he took more abuse in that game than I've ever seen him take. And they trailed 10-3 at half, and they wound up losing badly. It was I can't remember the final score, but it was just a disaster.
19-3?
Yeah, it was worse than that. I'll find it in a second here. I got 20-10. 20-10 was the final. So they lost back-to-back final games of the season, and it put them in Denver for the AFC Championship.
And what
game.
happened?
What happened was that Tom Brady led another last-ditch touchdown drive and hit Gronkowski from the 4-yard line to bring it to 20-18, and then he tried 2-point throw to Julian Edelman.
And what happened?
And it did not connect.
No.
No.
I want you to tell what happened.
Well,
he threw a pick.
Well, the ball got tipped up.
No, he threw a pick.
Yeah. So it was hellacious last-ditch drive, though. It was vintage Brady just to get him back in.
Okay, what about that? What about that pick?
So how did Bill Belichick get a pass for that? I have no idea.
You didn't give him a pass.
So Tom Brady at Miami in his career is 7-9. Whew, 7-9? That's House of Horrors. And Tom Brady has lost 4 of his last 5. So I think that's a grand case I just made for why I'll stick with my guy Tom for a case of due. Why not? Ryan Tannehill's played very well since he came back. They got
against
Brady's,
who?
Against Indy at Indy when they were hot as they could be.
They lost.
Yeah. Well, they were ahead 24-14 mid-4th quarter.
I just told you that New England Patriots forced you to execute for 4 quarters.
Well, so to me, I'm going to stick with my guy and my team. Not that I love the Patriots, but I do love Brady. I say Tom Brady is playing at the highest level he's ever played at. You say he's washed up. You say he's losing it. You say
with 20
he's showing
touchdowns
his
and
age.
8 picks.
You know, I say he's still playing at a high level. I love the way he played against Jenny's Vikings last Sunday.
But did you like the way he played against Jacksonville?
No, but they're 9-3, and they are still perfectly positioned to win home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
This is what I noticed about you, in the words of Kevin Garnett. This is what I noticed. Kevin Durant, this is what I know about you and the fanboys media that support Tom Brady.
There's no
it's
all Brady hate.
Yeah, they ain't no Brady hate. When Tom, look,
are you kidding me?
Tom Brady has 20 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Who is he throwing to? The same guys that got him 9-3. So you can't say when Tom Brady plays bad, he throws to no one, but when they win and he plays good, it's all Tom Brady. I'm not going to let you do it, Skip Bayless.
He's throwing the piano man.
That piano man that got him 9-3.
Yep.
Julian Edelman that can't run, that's coming off ACL,
Yep.
9-3.
Really?
Gronkowski that's a shell of himself, 9-3. That hard.
Right. 7-11, always closed, right?
He had a big third down.
Chris Hogan, always closed.
Had a big third down catch last week.
Yep.
Remember that one, Skip?
Yep.
Big third down catch. Throw it to Chris Hogan. That same defense that gave up 380 yards to Blake Bortles. That same defense that gave up 300 to Matthew Stafford. That same defense that gave up all those yards to Marcus Mariota. That's the same defense that got him 9-3.
Really?
That same D, Jenny.
Actually, number 12 got him to 9-3.
Oh, he also got
in spite of that defense, which finally played a decent game against the Vikings.
You see what I'm saying, Jim?
Well, it was.
So what about that defense?
It's Kyler Murray-esque.
Well, how does that defense overcome them 8 interceptions that Tom Brady keep putting out there? Well, and those fumbles that he keep putting out there?
At least he has to try, as opposed to Aaron Rodgers, who will not try.
You see what I'm saying? You see? Yeah. That, you see what I'm saying? Oh, Jenny taking notes, Skip.
Well,
I just want you to know.
So, wait a second. Notes. If over-the-hill, washed-up Tom Brady is going to his House of Horrors, bet me a case of due. I'll take Brady. I'll take him. Come on. Ryan Tannehill's beaten him before. Tannehill beat him that game in 2015. He was the starting quarterback. Way to go. Huh? No. Boy, you both sides of your mouth. Do they get sore after a while? Going back and forth? Yeah.
He hasn't lost to the Patriots since he was a rookie. And I know injury's been in the mix,
Who?
but Tannehill.
Oh, Tannehill.
Since he was since his rookie year.
That's a great
There
point.
have been injuries, but since his rookie
One of my
season.
favorite,
You believe in that?
One of my favorite thumbs down was rest his soul, John McCain, when he came back. You know, Jenny, he was real sick, and he came in and they had to give a vote on health care, and he walked up there and he looked around at everybody. That's what I'm doing under your case to do. You
Really?
think you get a sucker bet? Hey, how about this?
Sucker
I'm not going
bet.
to take this one.
Well, it's
Thumbs down.
No.
come on. It's a 41-year-old having to play down in Miami.
Throwing 20 touchdowns.
You probably think he should stay down there and just retire, right?
Yeah,
Hang out.
I heard Miami's really nice for the old folks. Nice retirement community
know.
down there.
Great spot.
But think about how many quarterbacks got more than 20 touchdown passes, Skip Bayless.
I don't know.
More!
How many are 9-3 or above? I don't know many.
Let's see. Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that's not going to last.
Drew Brees.
That
Phillip
won't
Rivers.
last. That won't last.
Oh, right. It's lasting. It's lasting.
Here come the Patriots.
All right, we'll
Another
have to
team
see.
catching
Maybe he
fire.
will feel comfortable
catching the
there,
fire.
Yeah.
hanging out in the.
Yeah, he should stay nice, warm weather.
Older
Them old
communities.
bones, because he like pliability. There's nothing to help pliability like heat.
Little humidity.
Yes.
I would agree.
Okay, the Browns and Packers, well, they both are going to be looking for a new coach, but what is the better job? We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
And the Packers and Browns will both be looking for new head coaches this offseason. Green Bay columnist Pete Doherty wrote that the Cleveland job could be more attractive since they have Baker Mayfield, other young stars, and a salary cap room. Former head coach Bruce Arians said recently that he has no interest in the Packers job and he would only return to coach the Browns. Green Bay has Aaron Rodgers, but he allegedly had tension with Mike McCarthy, and an anonymous NFL assistant said any head coach would have to tell Rodgers, quote, "I don't work for you, but I do want to work with you."
Ooh.
Shannon, what's the better job, Cleveland or Green Bay?
I think as we currently speak right now, 53 men, I would say the Cleveland Browns. If you really look at it, Skip, the Green Bay Packers have 2 players on their roster that's probably better than Cleveland. You look at Aaron Rodgers, you look at Devontae Adams. But when you look at 53, that's the entire roster. That's not 1 or 2 players. That's 53. It's the Cleveland Browns. You look at their defense. They're young. They're talented. As the article mentioned, they have a lot of salary cap. The Green Bay have 2 very good offensive linemen, Bulaga and Bakhtiari, but they stay hurt. They can't even finish a game, let alone a season. So they stay hurt. So I can see why this job would be attractive. Baker Mayfield, he looks like he might be the real deal. And the thing is, Skip, I believe it would be easier for a coach to come in and try to work with Baker than, say, Aaron. In the words of Kevin Durant again, Skip, Aaron Rodgers is making this job look toxic.
Ooh, really?
Because, but see, Skip, I was ahead of the curve. Skip, I was ahead of the curve. Skip.
Stop it.
I was ahead of the curve.
You were completely behind the curve.
No.
Oh,
What
are you saying?
I've been very abundantly clear that I think Aaron Rodgers is transcendent. I think he's as good that I've ever seen throw the football. But I said his behavior, his arrogance, his smugness, his cavalierness, his finger pointing made it difficult, and not everybody liked it. Well, Skip, everybody knows Mike McCarthy is out of there for one reason. Yeah, he wasn't winning. Aaron Rodgers sped this process up. And as the guy said that, you have to let him know, I don't work for you. I'm here to work with you. And ultimately, I want to accomplish the same thing you want to, win and win a Super Bowl. But Skip, you know how Aaron Rodgers is. He think the sun, he think he hung the moon. He think it don't stink. And you here to serve me what I need. Nah. So for me, roster, I'll take Cleveland.
Wow.
So that was quite a confession from Shannon Sharpe. That was a very public admission that he has been very wrong about Aaron Rodgers.
No, I'm not wrong. Skip, stop it. See, there you go.
It's my turn. This is a quarterback's game, pure and simple, period, end of story. And you have repeatedly told me for years that Aaron Rodgers is the GOAT.
GOAT.
The GOAT.
Big GOAT.
The big
Not
goat.
lowercase.
Okay, big GOAT. Cap letters.
Yeah.
All the GOAT caps.
Okay.
And you have repeatedly told me that you're not all in on Baker Mayfield.
Right.
You have discounted him, you've ripped him,
Yep.
slashed
Yep.
him,
Yep.
torn him apart,
Yep.
broke him down.
Yep.
And you said going into the draft that you would take Sam Darnold over Baker Mayfield. I said, no, I'm taking Baker #1 overall. And now you've come around to say, well, maybe he could be the real deal.
So you said 1 year, I'm not taking anything. 1 year.
So you realize you just admitted publicly that if you were going to choose a job as a head coach, you would not take the GOAT. You would not take the transcendent quarterback. You'd take a quarterback you have had your doubts about in Cleveland, Ohio.
Did you listen to what I said?
I heard every word of
Okay,
it
then.
because you're backpedaling.
How?
And then you're trying to make the case, which is absolutely laughable. You were ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
I was ahead of the curve. I'm the one who stood right here, dug in for 4 years. Really, if you go back to the old show, you can go back and look 7 years. Wow. I said Aaron Rodgers ain't all that.
Yeah, he is all
And
that.
I have told you this year repeatedly that given how high you're setting his bar, he's the GOAT, that he is simply the most overrated player in the history of the National Football League. And you just admitted it. You just admitted it because you said you will not take the GOAT job, you'll take the Baker Mayfield job.
Skip, but
You're kidding.
No, no. See, what you try to do, you always try to turn it into one. I said roster, and that's what the article is talking about, the roster. You got to have 53. Aaron Rodgers has 20 touchdowns, 1 interception, but the roster is not conducive for him to win a championship. I believe that injury that happened in the first game of the season, I believe it set him back. I believe it put him behind the 8 ball. But Skip, this roster is not built to go to and get to and win a championship. It's just not. So with that being said, the Browns are going to have something like $90 million in 2019 in cap space. Given the young talent, given the ability to go out and free agent, and it looks like John Dorsey knows what the hell he's doing, it looks like they're going to have room to add some pieces to get them going even further in the right direction.
Any team will go only as far as the quarterback can take that said team.
But what about the quarterback that's acting up and you can't get through to him, and it's always going to have to be his way?
I've said this for 10 years.
Does that change? Hold on.
Yeah.
Does that change whether or not he's good or not?
Yeah, it does.
Stop playing.
It undercuts his ability to perform on the football field. And Aaron Rodgers right now ranks 19th in the NFL in QBR. And believe it or not, he's 28th in completion percentage. 28th?
If you don't mind me asking.
Yikes.
So let me I just want to, just for me, maybe Jenny would like to know this and the people at home that's watching. So Aaron Rodgers just became this way this year. So all the years that he won the MVP, the year that he went to the Super Bowl, he's changed?
So thank you for bringing this up because I really appreciated the article by Pete Doherty, right, from Green Bay, in which he points out that the Packers have a star quarterback who's suddenly blemished, and he then goes back into Aaron Rodgers has had 2 sustained stretches of mediocre play. And the first one, he says, started in a 19-game run, 2015-2016, in which he put up an 8-11 record with an 88.9 rating, and I don't do passer rating because it's bogus, but that's very low.
That's what the NFL uses.
Okay, all right, well then let's use it right now because that's very low. And then the writer is saying the next stretch of mediocre play came this whole football season, 4-7-1 with a 99.3, and anything under 100 in QB rating is just pathetic, especially by the standards set by the GOAT.
Well,
right?
considering he has the highest quarterback rating of all time. Yeah, you're right. He's having an off year.
And I don't know how he still has it, if in fact he still
You do
does.
know.
Yeah, I don't
You do know.
So, and then Jenny read that quote, and it was really good because the anonymous quote here from a longtime NFL source says that the new coach would have to sit down and say, I want to work with you. I can't work for you.
Correct.
Right? And I'm just not sure Aaron would
Why would you have
that.
to explain that to him? Aaron Rodgers, you don't own the team. You are a player on the team. A damn good one.
Yep.
You're the best player on the team. But why would a coach have to come in and say, I want to work with you, not for you?
I don't know.
But Skip, here's the thing. As good as Aaron Rodgers has been, I've always said, and you go back and check the tape, the 2012 when I said it, he's arrogant, he's aloof, he's condescending. And everybody doesn't like playing with or being around
And he
Aaron
can't
Rodgers.
be the GOAT. You just can't be. Because if you
Everybody
turn
love
off
Michael
your
Jordan?
teammates,
Everybody like Michael Jordan?
everybody loved playing with him.
No, stop it.
Because all they did was win.
Stop it, Skip.
all they
Stop
did.
it. Stop it.
Seriously.
So
You know what? Nobody didn't like playing with him.
Because let me ask you a question. If I were to go ask Taquan Underwood, what is his thought of Tom Brady, what do you think he would say?
Probably say I love playing with him.
I mean, really?
Yeah.
After you put me on Front Street?
He played 2 games that year and got cut.
I just asked you a question.
You picked one guy in 18 years. And Tom Brady was perfectly within his rights to go to the bench and say, you ran the wrong route.
No.
Sorry.
So when Tom Brady throws an interception, am I perfectly okay to come to
Time out.
You throw an interception.
I've said this before. I've worked with so many expatriates at ESPN and around here, and not one time has any one of those players said one negative thing about Tom Brady.
What did they say about me?
About you?
What did they say about me?
Well, full of himself, big ego.
No, you made that up. That's you talking. That's you talking.
I don't know.
They'll say that about me.
So change the subject. So now we get to the other anonymous quote from another league source who really frames this for a coach thinking about which job would I take if I had the choice. And the coach is saying maybe Aaron Rodgers can play 5 more years. Maybe. Did the knee screw him up? This is in the quote.
True.
But he goes on to say, or maybe he's got diminished skills, which is what I've been saying. I'm not seeing that guy you've been describing, especially this year. I'm not sure it's there anymore. I'm just not sure. So he's saying, if you're going to take the Green Bay job, you're banking on the quarterback having 3 or 4 really good years. And if he doesn't, you're, and it's just parentheses, in trouble. And you know what word he used, you're.
Hold on, wait a minute. What job can you take that you don't think the quarterback have 5 good years? Whatever the job is, Skip Bayless, this is not earth-shattering news.
So there's doubts about the GOAT having 4 or 5 more years and he just turned 35? Really?
Oh, so
Tom Brady's 41, and I don't have any doubts about him having 3 more good years.
Stop it.
Well, I don't.
You're blind. You're blind witness.
I think I'm seeing nothing but truth.
So let me get this straight. So do you believe that Tom Brady over the next 3 years will have better numbers, not win-loss record, better numbers than Aaron Rodgers?
Say that again. I'm sorry. I was reading my next
You
quote.
believe over the next 3 years, you're just going to take that because Tom says he wants to play till he's 45.
Yes.
Let's just take 3 years. You believe over the next 3 years that Tom Brady will have better passing numbers.
I don't care about passing. I care about wins and losses, and I'll take Tom Brady's wins and losses.
That's what a roster's about, Skip.
Oh, because Tom Brady can lift any roster you throw out there.
Oh, really?
He'll lift it to 9-3. This defense was pathetic for the first 6 or 8 games.
And somebody
they're 9-3.
And guess what? You know what? They were pathetic, but they weren't letting people in the end zone. And when they needed to make a play, they made a play. And that's what they've always done. You make it seem like they've always had a Ravens 2000 defense or a Bucks 02. No, what they've done is that when you get close to the end zone, they found a way to make you kick field goals or they took the ball away.
And I will finish off my argument by telling you that Teddy Bruschi, the great Teddy, said the other day on WEEI in Boston, in evaluating whether Josh McDaniels should take this job, he concluded that Aaron Rodgers' skill is running out for him. His skill is running out. And what have I been saying? He's 5-6 in the postseason since that long ago Super Bowl. It was 8 years ago, and you cling to he's the GOAT. Went to 1 Super Bowl 8 years ago and won it, 5-6 in the postseason since. His skill is running out.
But let this sink in.
It's why you don't want this job.
Let this sink in. Aaron Rodgers' skill is running out. He's 20 touchdowns, 1 interception. But Brady's on the uptick at 20 touchdowns, 8 picks.
4-7-1 versus 9-3. That's all you need to know.
That's a team.
Yep.
Now, again, the roster.
What happened when Aaron Rodgers played Minnesota, and then what happened when Brady played Minnesota?
Different outcome.
Yeah, different outcome. Wait a second. Did Tom Brady beat Aaron Rodgers head-to-head? Yes, he did. Did Tom Brady beat Patrick Mahomes head-to-head with 182 yards passing in the fourth quarter? Yes, he did.
Did Aaron Rodgers beat?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Did Aaron
Yes, he
Rodgers
did.
beat Matthew
Yes, he did.
Stafford head-to-head?
Yeah.
Did Aaron Rodgers beat Matthew Stafford head-to-head?
We're going to have to wait.
It sounds like you in church.
Out. Let's see. Aaron Rodgers this weekend, though, first time he's on the field without Mike McCarthy. I mean, can you? It's the first time in his career.
He's like good.
No more pointing the finger anymore.
Yeah.
We'll see. And how about the Cowboys? Are they going to take control of the NFC East on Sunday? Eric Dickerson makes his pick next.
No mercy.
All right, huge game in the NFC East on Sunday between the Cowboys and Eagles on Fox, and we are now joined by FS1 NFL analyst Eric Dickerson.
Here we go.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jenny. How you
Picked
doing?
a good day to be here for this debate. So big conversation here. I will start with you, Eric. Who wins on Sunday?
Well, I know who's going with what team, and I know what team he's going with for sure. But I got to say this, Skip. You should thank me You should thank me. Really, you should.
That jersey.
Exactly.
That
Ever
jersey.
since I gave you that jersey,
He did.
ever since I gave you that jersey, your Cowboys have been winning.
He'll get
a
back
good
to you
point.
on Monday.
Do you have any more gifts today?
Now I got some more gifts. You know, I'm just gonna start off and say who I think is gonna win. I'm gonna go with the Dallas Cowboys.
Thank you.
For a couple of reasons. Their defense is playing probably the best football defense, best out of any defense in the National Football League. One thing I like about their defense, Van Der Esch, the linebacker. You know, Jalen Smith. I like the way they tackle. You know, and I saw that against the New Orleans Saints. One thing I got to say, my team, the Ram Bastards has to say, his team did not tackle well. You know, in open field against Kamara. You know, we couldn't tackle him.
Right.
You know, Jalen Smith tackled him one-on-one. Van Der Esch tackled him one-on-one. I mean, when you can tackle in the NFL, that's what it's all about. If you can play great defense and get your offense going, you can win football games. Now, we know I look at the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are a running football team. Don't get this confused. They're a running football team first. You have Dak Prescott, who controls the game. All of a sudden, when everything opens up now, because he has Amari Cooper, you know, Gallup is playing better with Amari Cooper, that running game gets going, you got a couple of different options. So for me, in this football game, I have to take the Dallas Cowboys. They're playing the best. I always say, you know, you get hot at the right time. They're getting hot at the right time. They got the components at the right time. They've got their guys coming back at the right time. DeMarcus Lawrence said about the Saints, let's choke them out. I think they're going to choke out the Eagles this week. I mean,
You're right. They're getting hot. The Cowboys getting hot, but they don't.
Somebody getting cold feet
But that
across from
don't.
me.
But you know
Cold
what?
feet.
You're right, Ed. They are getting hot, but they don't fit the fireman. Walking to him, he coming to put him out.
Oh,
gonna
he's the
extinguish-
fireman?
Yeah,
I think he starts his own fire.
Whatever,
Yeah.
Skip Bayless. Look, I believe the Eagles will play their best football game because they know it's either now or never. They're not going to make the playoffs as a wild card. So you either win this game and take the number and be tied for, well, theoretically you be in the first in the NFC East. So I believe they'll play their best football. They need to get off to a fast start. Last year they were 2 in first quarter scoring. This year they're dead last in first quarter scoring. So they're putting themselves behind and they're having to play catch up. I believe they start fast. And you're right. This is a running football team. There's no coincidence that this thing started to take off when they started handing that ball to Zeke Elliott, and all of a sudden it was 110, 120, 150 in the run game. So now you can play action, fake that ball in Zeke's belly. Guys are running one-on-one and they're wide open. They'll shut that down. They got to take it. I don't know why teams
I got to write that down. They'll shut that down. I'm going to save this for Monday. They'll shut that down.
Take
Thank
Zeke
you.
away.
Yep, take Zeke away.
And if Dak can throw the ball, when's the last time Dak had a 300-yard passing game? When's the last time he thrown for 3 touchdowns? Force him to do that. Don't let him.
When's the last time he won a football game? Oh, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you.
But you know, it's not about that. You know, when you think about it, like I said, the Cowboys are a running team.
Yes.
And they're able to run the football because of really, Amari Cooper has made a big difference with that football team.
Yeah.
And you know that, like you said, now they can play action. They've got to bite on it. In football, if you just take that one step, one quick step, you beat.
Yep.
You beat.
24-20, Eagles. And on Monday, number one, first place in the NFC East will be
Cry, Eagles, cry. On Monday.
You will be crying. You're going to
Cry,
talk about a call. You're
Yeah.
going to talk about they need to get rid of Jason Gay. Watch what you're doing. I know you.
I already predicted the first thing I'm going to talk about is bounce it to him Wentz because he's going to make one mistake in this game that is going to be monumental and is going to shift the momentum and shift the balance of power in the NFC East back to Dallas where it rightfully belongs. And I'll be the first to admit this will be a battle. It'll be classic NFC East because the Philadelphia Eagles are still the defending Super Bowl champs fighting for their lives. So they got to win this game.
Got to.
They got to.
It's an absolute must.
But Dallas will win this game. I'm going to go with the same score it was in Philadelphia, 27-20. And I'm still not exactly sure how Dallas saved its season by winning 27-20 at Philadelphia because my number one concern, as I said earlier in the show, I got 3 of them. Zach Ertz, and Zach Ertz. He's everywhere. He kills Dallas. He caught 14 balls for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns at Philadelphia.
We'll get 2 more.
Those are career high. It was his career best game. It's season highs across the board. In fact, those are the best tight end numbers in the last 4 years in the National Football League, were Zach Ertz's against Dallas at Philadelphia, and they still managed to overcome
14
it.
catches was a high.
16 targets for 14 catches. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'd call all 16, but that's
Well, I asked him, was that a big game? He said, no, I'd have 180. Right? 180? Yeah. Okay, so you're saying you're better than Zach Ertz.
I ain't said nothing.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm gonna let to be that Zach Ertz uncle or something.
Do you think you could outrun Zach Ertz right now?
No.
Really?
I get Jason Witten though.
You could probably get Jason.
I know.
I know I get Jason Witten.
I know else you can.
I know who else I can.
I know else you
Oh,
can. Anyway, we ain't
go
going there.
again.
Let's get back to the football.
See how he walked in here scared with his back. Back hurt.
My back fine today.
Today.
So I'm trying to figure out if they're going to have a new plan for Zach Ertz, because every time it's 3rd and 7, I just say, cover 86. Carson Wentz is codependent on 86. They're best friends. It's his security blanket. It's by far his favorite receiver. He's caught so many more targets than anybody on the team. It's like a joke how many more
Why
catches
would you want to change the plan? The plan last time it worked.
I don't.
He caught all those balls,
Okay,
but you won.
So is it the classic case of just let him eat and we'll just stop everybody
As long as
else?
you win, you really care?
Okay, they didn't really have Golden Tate. It was his first game in Philadelphia, and he just caught a couple of balls. Now they got Golden Tate, who torched Dallas when he was with Detroit on September 30th. You think so? Yep. Is that your prediction?
I said 24-20.
Yeah.
We got a case on it, too.
We got 7 cases on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Got 3 on Dallas winning the East. You got 3 on Philadelphia winning the East, and we got an extra case just on Sunday.
Y'all got a lot of cases. I'm going to say, my score is 28-17 Dallas. But I got to say this. Now, the Cowboys get in the playoffs. Now, just by chance, if they come here to play the Rams, Skip, you've got to promise me you're going to go to the game with me.
He's bad.
Come on, Skip. Come on, Skip.
I can't do it.
Just for a quarter.
Because if they lose, he gonna swear.
Come on, Skip.
He went to the game.
I can't concentrate.
I'm helping you. I help the team
if
by
I go
giving you a
stand on the
jersey.
sidelines and everybody's yelling at me, take that! Take that!
No, that ain't from the fans.
How about put you in a box?
Those guys on the field.
That's true.
Of course, if I did win, I could just
Exactly. Oh, and we know. And who front runs better than Skip Bayless?
Shannon Sharpe.
No. But that's okay. Your day coming.
So, in the end, all I know is my defense just came of age with the most stunning and impressive defensive performance in the history of the Dallas Cowboys against a Drew Brees who came in playing the greatest quarterback season in history. No quarterback has had better numbers than Drew had coming into this game. It was by far the hottest offense in the NFL, even hotter than yours, and yours has been really good.
Yep.
And my defense held that offense to 10 points. Think about that, 10 points. And I've told Shannon, every other Drew Brees game I've ever watched, 4 or 5 times in the game, I'll sit back and say, how did that guy get so open? Because there'll be somebody running up the seam just wide open, somebody I don't even know who his name is, some undrafted free agent. In the Dallas game, in a big night game, Thursday night football on Fox, I didn't see one open receiver the whole game. Every catch was contested. My defense has come of age. It can cover, it can run, and it can hit. And to your point, it can open field tackle like crazy, sideline to sideline. So my defense is playing at a higher level than your Eagles defense.
Yeah, well, that's not saying much considering they gave Adrian Peterson 1 carry for 90 yards. But anyway, first of all, I know a guy that's not had a bad game all year. He's going to win the MVP, my homeboy. But anyway, we're not talking about that.
Who?
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, come on, dog.
What? He's going to lose Sunday.
Come on.
To who?
The Ravens.
Oh,
Ravens are going to get
I got something to say about that, too, that
We're
MVP.
going to talk about that. We're going to pick that game.
We will.
But your day, the Eagles going to summon this thing up.
Yep. Okay, so it's a quarterback's game, and in the end, one or the other quarterback is going to make the play to win the game.
already
I know
know
you
which
say
one.
it's Zeke and you're the greatest running back ever, and I get all that. But in the end, my quarterback makes big plays at big moments. Sometimes with his legs,
Big mistakes at
sometimes
big
with
moments,
his arm.
too.
Well,
He's the guy that I liked when I saw him 2 years ago.
You did.
And now I see that guy again because he has what? He has weapons.
He has
got
one.
no weapons. Well,
Got one.
he got 2. He got Zeke. Don't forget
Okay.
that.
But I'm talking about receiver weapons.
He's still
He's
a
really
weapon.
still just
You like
has
Michael
one.
Gallup? You told me, say, oh, yeah, he's coming to the league.
He's coming along.
He's a rookie.
I can't believe I'm giving Cowboys credit.
Call you a Cowboy.
You
on the
are.
cover.
Bite my
You're
tongue.
here.
On the
I
cover
know.
of Cowboy
I'm
fans.
not a
I would
Cowboy.
I'm going to see if you bite your tongue next because we've got another game to preview. Rams, Bears. Is the Rambassador worried about that game?
I'm gonna
Discuss
guess yes.
Too tall
next.
jersey in your closet.
Yeah.
Too tall.
No mercy.
Back to the NFL. The Rams have the best record at 11-1, but they'll have a tough task in Chicago on Sunday night in what should be very cold temperatures. The Rams' high-powered offense is averaging nearly 35 points a game, but the Bears' defense is only giving up 20 per game. Mitch Trubisky, he's expected to return from a shoulder injury after missing Chicago's last 2 games. Eric Dickerson, a.k.a. our Rambassador, he's still with us. Eric, when you look at this matchup, do you think the Rams will stumble in Chicago?
Who'd you say got the best record again?
The Rams.
The Rambassadors in the house. Of course not, we're not going to stumble. Let me tell you one thing about cold weather, and you know this very well also. When it comes to cold weather, when the game starts, everybody's cold. Now, if you fall behind early, like it's down 14-0, 21-0, all of a sudden, what do you start doing? You start looking at that clock and like, man, it's getting chilly out here. It's getting chillier. Now, if you winning or the game is very close or you take the lead, it's not cold at all.
Not cold.
Not at all. We have an offense that can score. That's the most important thing. We have a defense that is coming on. So for me, I'm not even worried about this game. I mean, I'm going to tell you the game I had circled on my calendar was the New Orleans Saints game. That was the game I was really concerned about. This game, I'm really not. I know that the Chicago Bears have a great defense. They do. They play very good defense with Khalil Mack. The guys up front, they play. The secondary plays well. But our offense, we can move the football. On defense, we have to do our job. You know, they can move the ball. I'm still think that we'll get to Trubisky. I think he's a young quarterback. I saw him play a month ago. They played against the Bucs. And I was impressed, but I wasn't impressed because a lot of open receivers. I think he had 4 or 5 touchdowns.
6.
He should have had 10.
He
should have had 10. Because I'm like, man, this guy's wide open. He's missing them. So it's going to be cold for them, too. So for me, I like my Rams in this football game. I like them a lot. And let's go back to one thing. We're talking about the MVP. We're talking about the MVP. To me, the MVP, it should be Aaron Donald. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why it should be.
Oh, he's gonna get some votes.
Let me tell you, but he should not get some votes. He should be the MVP. 32 years ago, you know who's the MVP?
LT.
Lawrence Taylor. I was in the running. I had 1,821 yards. I didn't even get close.
Dan had like 40.
I didn't even get close. One thing about when you think about Mahomes, he sacked. I think he had 3 sacks in that game. 2 of them for touchdown. He made what you say, your MVP look like an average guy.
Right.
And we talk about defensive players. He's the only guy for his defense everybody's talking about. It's no doubt that Aaron Donald is the best defensive player in the National Football League. I find myself, an offensive player, saying, man, let me watch what Aaron's doing. You know,
Really?
I'm watching. And every guy, man, they're like, man, that guy is amazing. He's amazing what he does. So for me, my MVP is Aaron Donald. I'm putting it out there. And I'm sorry. I know I'm being biased because I'm the Rambassador, but hey, he's the greatest football player on defense right now.
He is. I'm going to take the Rams in a close game. I think the game will be a lot closer. It's not going to be as high scoring. Only once have the Rams not gotten to at least 29 points, and that was against the Denver Broncos. But for the most part, they're going to be normally getting the 30s. But I think because of the weather and because of the Bears have a very good defense, that this game will be close. The thing that concerns me about your Rams is that they're terrible against the rush. And the one thing the Chicago Bears can do is to keep your offense off the field. They can run the football. And when you run the football, you can control pace, you can control time of possession, keep the high power because you guys can score. I mean, you got Brandon Cooks, who's, if he's not already over 1,000 yards, he will be after this game. Robert Woods right at 1,000 yards. Todd Gurley's leading the league in rushing, leading the league in touchdown scores. So you guys have the firepower and the potential to put Chicago in a serious hole. But the question is, can you stop them? And I love the addition with Talib coming back. Marcus Peters can now go back to, playing the way he normally played. Talib will take the best receiver, put hands on him. And I agree with you, defensively, but getting after the quarterback. But you got to be leery of Trubisky, Skip. He runs better than you think. And when he breaks the pocket, he's not looking to throw the ball over your head. He's looking to take off. So we saw that game against I think it was against New England. He had 10 rushes for 81 yards.
He did.
He's running, I think he's third in rush yards for quarterback. So I'm going to take the Rams in a very close ball game, but would I be surprised if the Bears upset them? No, but I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I can see something like 23-20, Rams winning.
All of which is why, sitting right next to the Rambassador, I'm going to take the Bears.
I should throw this pin at you.
You should. I'm sorry. I had circled this game several weeks back because this is your first really cold weather.
True.
This is going to be low 20s, nighttime. And I remember what happened to your guys at Seattle last year, and it wasn't like brutally cold, but it was pretty cold that night.
We beat them in the ground.
Huh? But they dropped a lot of balls.
We beat them in the ground, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I saw the warm weather team look shaky. That's
But we
what it
beat
looked like.
them in the ground. I mean, beat them into submission.
Y'all had 4. I think y'all scored 40 on them.
Yeah, we beat them into submission.
So this is different. This is a different place with a different scheme, and they do run the ball. And to the point about Trubisky, he's back, and he doesn't have a leg injury. He's got a shoulder injury. So it's not going to affect his ability to use his legs. He is averaging 7.1 yards per carry. That leads the NFL. So he is more of a running I don't like him throwing the football. So he is more of a runner than a thrower, which I never saw coming out of North Carolina. I had no idea that was going to happen. And it
But
just...
you'll throw it to the other team. He will
I
do that.
That's your, huh?
So they will run it and run it and run it some more. And I just don't love your guys on that field, on that night, in that kind of weather. And it is a night game, which makes it, the cold is worse at night to me.
This reminds me of a game we played in 1986 after the Bears won the Super Bowl. We were up to Chicago, and same kind of setup. Bears, great defense, and we beat them 20-17. That's what I'm going with that score, 20-7. We ran the football. I think I carried the ball 32 times. I think I had touched it 32 times. I think I had 111 yards rushing and like another 40 receiving. And that's what we have to do.
What were your numbers from the NFC Championship game the year before?
I think I had 50 yards rushing and I think no yards receiving. But even in that game, that good example, in that game there, they jumped on us 10-0. Right before half, we had a chance to kick a field goal. We called a timeout. It was a discrepancy over the timeout. When we looked at it and we didn't get that field goal at halftime, all of a sudden, it got just a little bit colder out there.
It did.
Because it wasn't cold at first. I'm telling you, Skip, players know this. When you're in the game, the cold does not bother you. When you're out of the game.
Yeah, you come to the sideline.
You come to the sideline, and they say, all right, offense. You're like, man, we got to go back out there again. What you talking about?
Them heaters.
They got heaters out there. Them heaters don't seem as warm.
Plus, that was the most physical defense I ever saw, including your Ravens.
2000 Ravens.
Oh, yeah, they hit out there. So I'm going with the Rams 20-7.
And you know that now they have soup, they have broth on the sidelines.
Yeah.
You're like, let me get this last little drink.
Yeah.
You don't want to go back out in that cold.
So your Rams open as only a 4-point favorite, and it's been bet down to 3 points. Interesting.
Okay, all right.
You doing all that betting?
Huh?
You
I don't
laying some
do any
heavy
of those
wood
bets.
down there on
I'm not going to bet a penny on this. I just have a little feeling this is going to happen. This is the one that I circled where you are going
hungry.
to stumble.
You ain't get your protein shake
This
this
wasn't the
morning.
one
That's
I
that
was
feeling,
worried
huh?
about. Come tell you the cold, if you can't score, like if you have an offense, like you just have a great defense, your offense struggles. We don't have a struggling offense. We can score points. We really can. So I'm not worried about that part of it.
And finally, to your point about MVP, I'm sorry, but the first time Aaron Donald jumped off my screen was against Mahomes in that night game. Your defense has been overrated and underachieving all year until that point. And maybe it's because of the Talib injury. I'll give you that. And he is back. But your defense was giving up points in the 20s. They were ranked in the 20s in points allowed up until that night. Now they started to come together. But he can't win MVP off his first 10 games this year.
Here's the thing. Skip, you remember when J.J. Watt, people said he was the best player?
You said that.
J.J. Watt had 20.5 sacks and had like 5 or 6 touchdowns, and he didn't win MVP. In a scoring league, the quarterbacks are putting up the numbers are just too gaudy.
It's sad that
it is.
It's like nobody else gets a look. It's like it's got to be the quarterback.
It's going to be a quarterback unless the running back does what Adrian Peterson did the last time a running back won it.
Wait a minute, hold it. Then he shared it with Peyton Manning, didn't he?
No, he won it outright.
Did he win it outright?
In 2011, yeah.
I didn't even win it. I think I had 2,000 yards. I didn't even win it that year. What's up? What's going on?
2012. I think it was 2012.
Wait a sec.
2012.
Got to stand up for everyone else.
Well, once again, the Rambassador is going with his Ram. Not because I
mean, you would've wanted
not
to-
because I love my team, but we're going to win this.
You would have wanted
Okay.
the sophomore year
We'll
had
see,
Dan
Eric.
Marino not did what he did.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about
Good
that.
luck on Sunday.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for being
Thank you,
here.
Jenny.
Will LeBron bring his buddy Melo here to LA? That could be interesting. We'll discuss with Chris Broussard next.
No mercy.
Let's get to the NBA. You guys save it for Monday. Carmelo Anthony is technically still a Rocket, but according to The Athletic, he could join his good friend LeBron in LA. The report says LeBron hasn't made a request to Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka and isn't expected to, but LeBron and his camp still believe Melo can play. Melo is averaging a career-low 13 points in 10 games this season, but he can't be traded until December 15th. We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Chris, should the Lakers sign Melo?
No way. As we used to say when I was growing up in Ohio, hecky no. I mean, and no disrespect to Melo, but no way, no how, as Rob Parker would say. This is LeBron James trying to change the narrative surrounding his good friend Carmelo Anthony. Because the article, as you said, it said he hasn't talked to Magic and Rob Pelinka, and he doesn't plan to talk. He's not going to talk to him. If he really wanted Melo, he could go and say, look, I know they have 15 guys, but you can cut somebody and bring in Melo. I think he could help. But
You could have asked when Melo got bought out by the OKC.
Right.
He could have did that then.
Right. That would have even made more sense if you really thought he was just a good fit. But look, he feels bad for his good friend because obviously he was scapegoated in Houston. And while I didn't think he was a good fit there, he clearly wasn't the problem or the only problem. But the narrative is now nobody wants him. LeBron says this is not only my good friend, but a great player, a Hall of Fame player, and the narrative is nobody wants him. So he wants to change it from nobody wants him to not only do people want him, the best player in the world wants him, you know. But this is not a basketball fit. I believe LeBron would know that because when you watch, look, after the 0-3 start, Skip, they're playing on a 58-win pace. Think about that. They're 51 win pace overall, but take away the 0-3 start, which we understand you're getting to know each other, and a 58 win pace. You don't want to mess with that.
Mess it up.
You got their best, obviously, when LeBron's dominating the ball, but he's not going to do that 48 minutes. And then their best when he's not dominating the ball, when that's moving, when that ball is swinging around, everybody's getting involved. Melo, get it, is going to stop, he's going to do his thing, and he can still do it. But Melo at this stage is like a older, more polished version, better jump shooting version of Michael Beasley. Beasley gets in there and he goes one-on-one. Everybody stands around and watches and he scores on some funky move. But he's playing 7 minutes a game because they know that's not what we need.
Right.
And the sad thing is LeBron is in his camp all right. Melo still can play. He just doesn't fit anywhere. A bad team that's obviously they're trying to develop young players and get better, they don't need him. A good team, you're going to be a role player. And this is why I said 2 months ago, Melo should retire. Either retire or accept a Paul Pierce role late in his career or a Vince Carter role right now. Melo doesn't want that, which I'm fine with. You're a superstar. You don't want that, but you got to retire. Yeah, but you got to retire. Like, you're not... the only way you keep playing is be a role player.
It's simple as this, Skip. No, leave this alone. Skip, Melo's been in decline for 5 years. And I don't care how great you are, there will come a time when no one will want you. As great as LeBron is, there will come a time when no team's going to want LeBron. That's just the way. And guess what? The process just sped up for Melo. I get it, because Melo's looking at it like, hold on, wait a minute. I came in with LeBron. How is he still the best player in the world and nobody wants me? Oh, for whatever reason the case may be, Skip. Maybe LeBron devoted more of his time. Maybe he had more God-given ability. He worked harder to stay at that level than Melo did.
I buy that.
For whatever the reasons. Okay, we saw the last 3 years at the Knicks. Everybody, whoa, Melo get to a better situation. He went to OKC. It didn't work. At what point in time do we keep saying, well, the Knicks were bad and OKC was bad and Houston, it wasn't Melo? At what point in time is it Melo? Because Melo is that sanitation truck. You got to dump it down to him and beep, beep, beep. Skip, the ball's not moving with Melo. Why can't everybody see? And And the thing is that, well, you hear KD say Melo can still play, and D-Wade say Melo can still play. And if LeBron says it, but where? For who?
Right.
Because if LeBron really wanted someone, he should have traded for Kyle Korver.
Yep.
Kyle Korver will fit more for the Lakers need and can use than Carmelo. Right. And if you bring Carmelo, Skip, I thought you were trying to develop the young players. Who the hell you gonna move? I mean, so that means he gonna cut into somebody minutes. Kuzma, B.I.,
he would.
Josh Hart. So are you trying to develop or are you not? Leave us alone, man. Look here. Melo can do whatever. Nah, he ain't even Melo no more. He Carmelo. Yeah. It used to be Melo. When he was one of the top 5 or 7 players in the NBA, he was Melo. Now he's Carmelo Anthony. He needs to make a decision, Skip. I'm going to accept playing 10, 15 minutes a night. And I'm never going to be what I once was. And you have to accept that, because if you think you're going to be a guy that's going to play heavy minutes and they're going to rely on, bruh, you're not that. You're not going to be Lou Williams. So just accept the 10, 15, 12 minutes a night and keep it moving. Or come on up here and we'll have you on and you can be an analyst for us on the radio.
Right.
We hired too. We hired Carmelo.
I mean, he's no Chris Broussard.
I put a word in for you want to come work with me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, to both your points, there was a very interesting piece on ESPN.com yesterday breaking down why Carmelo Anthony is now an anachronism. He is a dinosaur. The NBA has passed him completely by because he is a ball-dominant, mid-range jump shooter. And there's no place for that anymore in the way that basketball is now played. And you can say there's no more beautiful basketball or whatever you want to say, because Popovich has been talking about that. It's all three-point shooting.
Three's a layup.
Okay? But he doesn't fit anymore. And to your point, LeBron James made a commitment, 5 years ago to supreme physical fitness. Not just good, but supreme. He spends money on it, whatever it takes. Yeah. He commits to the time in the offseason, and I don't see Carmelo's body reflect that. Right. I don't think he did that because he was so gifted. He was never better than he was leading Syracuse as a freshman to the national championship. And he could just do it. He was so naturally strong. Even Kobe always said, toughest cover for him was Melo. In the low post, if he got it, you just can't stop him because it's just powerful, natural strength with physique behind it. But he didn't, as he hit 30, he didn't commit to staying in even a semblance of the kind of shape that LeBron is in. And I know LeBron loves him, and I think Chris Paul loves him even more. Right. And so Chris just said, we got to do this. And he pushed for it, and it wrecked the Rockets. And I know they lost a reason in Mbah and they lost their defensive identity, but the Rockets are just a disaster right now. They cannot figure out how to get their offense back into any kind of a flow. And they tried to fit Melo in there. Oh, you can shoot threes because we shoot threes. And remember the night he kind of laughed and said, I just shot a three. Oh, really? Yeah? Okay.
And the thing is, Skip, if you look at Mike was able to elevate his game even more and stay there even longer once he got with Tim Grover. So LeBron,
the great Tim Grover.
Yeah.
But they had the Breakfast Club, and he got Scotty and Ron Harper every morning, 6 a.m. at Jordan's house, and they committed to it.
Right, and look at LeBron. They say he spends upwards of $2 million. People are on 24-hour call. So he starts the process immediately after the game. It's always, immediately after the game, okay, let's start this process of getting ready for the next game. How he eats, how much rest he gets. Bro, to be great, you just don't wake up and say, you know what, I want to be great today. Nah, it's a process.
And the thing is, LeBron, and this is what Melo has to understand. I would disagree, Shannon, where you said it just began prematurely or earlier for Carmelo.
Yeah.
This is natural. LeBron is the aberration.
Yeah.
Look at Dwayne Wade. He came in that draft too. He's done. Yeah. Dwayne has been able to accept, I'll just be a role player.
Right.
That's the difference.
That's the biggest key.
He's essentially, if Dwayne was going places saying, hey, I got to get my 35 minutes, I got to get my 19 shots like Melo, then he would be in the same position as Carmelo.
And you know what? It hurts my eyes to watch Dwayne Wade right now because I'm a big fan. I was always the biggest fan.
D-Wade, guess what?
You're doing that?
There's something to be, like take Vince Carter.
Yeah.
There's a generation now of young people who are growing up saying, That's the best dunker ever? That's who you guys say was the greatest NBA dunker of all time? Like, they're not visualizing Vince like we do.
Right. No.
And that's the danger of staying, I don't want to say it's too long. Look,
But
he's
guess
having
what?
fun, I guess. But
D. Wade had to figure it out. See, D. Wade had to go to Chicago and realize that he wasn't D. Wade in Miami.
He had some moments, but it wasn't the same.
But that's the thing. And see, we skip.
he can have a moment.
And
Melo
that-
could have a moment.
Well, he had it last year against Philly in the playoffs.
Remember Melo had that moment against the net where he dropped 28? Yeah. It had about 5 or 6 threes. Right. When you're a great player, you can have those moments. But the really top-notch players, what LeBron can do, those moments are not fleeting. They happen often. And when you're past that, they happen ever so often.
And see, this is what makes LeBron so great off the court. He's Mr. Kumbaya. You know, I mean, Dan Gilbert called him out. That's all right. I'll forgive him. I'll go play for him.
That's true.
Bring in D. Rose to Cleveland. Bring in Tyson Chandler, Rajon. Guys I went to war with, battled with. I'll forgive. We teammates.
That's what we do.
I think LeBron, and this is the difference, obviously, between him and a Michael Jordan. I think when LeBron was facing one of his good friends in a game, his ideal scenario, if you're Melo, is you get your 30. I get my 30, 35, have a great game.
I buy that.
But we win. But I want you to have a great game, whereas a Jordan or Kobe is like, I don't even want you to play well. I want to destroy you and stomp you. But that's LeBron.
Right.
So he's looking at Melo and saying, I think LeBron understands he's not a fit.
And that's how we
if he was a fit, he would have got him in the sun.
That's how LeBron do. See, LeBron will let you do what you're supposed to do. But what I do is so exemplary. You ain't even talking about that. You remember that night when Melo had 50 in the playoffs? Ain't nobody talking about that. Cause when LeBron did what? Dropped the hammer on him and got the Knicks running up out of there. So that just lets you know.
That was LeBron's ultimate scenario, right?
Right.
That's what he wanted.
My boy got his, I got mine, and we won.
So LeBron's got it going. The ball is moving. The ball is going in the basket for LeBron, and they got another easy win tonight.
No,
Yes.
No,
easy.
No,
this will be one of the easiest of the year.
I give you one case. I got the Spurs.
You're taking the Spurs?
I got the Spurs.
For a case?
Yep.
Done.
No, I don't bet. I don't bet against LeBron.
You don't bet.
I don't bet against LeBron.
No, he doesn't. That is true.
You're not going to do it? Come on. I want LeBron. I love LeBron.
No.
I love LeBron. I want him tonight.
Do you want Pop out of there or something? Like, what? Are you down on the Spurs?
I've always been down on Pop. I've always thought he was a little overrated because he had 3 of the greatest players ever together.
You know what?
You don't think he's an all-time great? Like top 5?
Do I think he's getting exposed this year? I do.
Look at Phil Jackson. Did Phil Jackson get exposed when he didn't have great players? Come on now, Skip. You know you got to have
When
great
did Phil
players.
not have great players?
Phil
Help
did
me out.
the year Jordan retired, the first retirement. They won 55 games. Remember that?
So hold on. I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correct. He retired. Jordan, they won 57 in the title. He retired. They won 55. Huh? Now, LeBron last year, they won 51 games in Cleveland. How many games did they win this year?
12.
So when the Bulls really needed Scottie Pippen to take over a game, to rise and shine and be Michael Jordan, what did he do? He had a migraine.
No.
He threw a chair or
Phil would not let him take. He wanted Tony Kukoc to take the last shot, and Scottie said
that's
no.
all you need to know.
You make us look. Had that Hugh Hollins call, you remember that?
Blown.
The Knicks. If the Bulls had even gotten to the Eastern Conference Finals, let alone the finals, man, the whole narrative would be different.
Come on.
But you know what? They didn't.
I need you to flip roles with me tonight.
What?
I want to root for LeBron, and you get to root for the Spurs.
No.
You just said they're going to win.
Nope.
You just want the
Game's
Spurs
so
to win
close.
so that it gives some credibility to LeBron's 20 points in the fourth quarter the other night. Aha!
Hello.
I got you.
20 points
I
in the
got
fourth
you.
quarter
And if you
always
really,
get credibility.
If you had the courage of your convictions, you would take the Spurs tonight for a case of
And this is
Diet
what he
Mountain
did.
Dew.
You see what he did, Skip?
Yeah.
He hit him with that first 14.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to get all y'all about that kumbaya y'all he was talking
Okay.
about. Hey, Cool, come on over here.
Okay.
Hey, Josh Hart, come on over here. And then he was like, I'll finish it off. Let me get these last 5.
Okay.
Get up out of here.
Well, you get to see a replay of that game tonight at San Antonio.
Nah.
Yep. You want it?
We're going to be eating cinnamon
Case?
rolls.
No cases?
We're going to Lulu's, eat
Yeah.
the 3-pound cinnamon roll, that crunchy fried chicken. It's
Oh,
good.
No guts, no glory.
got nothing.
Going
They got to
once.
keep
do
it
it.
rolling.
Oh, we're going to keep it
Not
rolling.
today was the day.
Yeah.
I guess not. All
Come
right.
on, I love LeBron. I need him to.
I just want LeBron to start making these free throws, going get back up to 80% by the All-Star
That
break.
is over. You should concede that.
I ain't
bet.
conceding
He's
jack.
71%. Do you know how hard it's going to be to get to 80?
ju-
He's going to have to make like 80 of the next 85 free throws.
Well, guess what, Skip? He was at 80 at one point in time, and he got down to 71 by missing. So he'll get back
I
up to
want
80
some
by
of that
making.
action, Shannon.
What?
80% bet.
What if you took
yeah,
that bet?
Jordan.
yeah.
I'm trying to get you in a Jordan
No.
bet.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's
I'm-
not. Today's
I'm-
not the day.
You gonna get a
Apparently.
bet?
Too many bets already.
You gonna be sorry too, Chris.
Chris, good to have you. All right, should Kyler Murray play professional baseball or
a good question.
football? We'll discuss his future next.
No mercy.
Kyler Murray could be named the Heisman winner tomorrow, but football might not be in his future. Murray already signed a deal with the Oakland A's worth nearly $5 million, but according to Baseball America, he would likely make more money playing in the NFL. The reason, because QBs are the highest paid players in the game and can play into their late 30s or with some early 40s. Murray's baseball agent, Scott Boras, said, quote, he will be in spring training with the A's. Shannon, should he play baseball or football?
Baseball. It's the guaranteed money, Skip, and it's safer from a health standpoint and the potential, the guaranteed money. Skip, Peyton Manning is arguably one of our best players, but A-Rod doubled him up in salary. I'll give you a better example, Skip. Jeff Samardzija, great receiver at Notre Dame, chose to go play baseball. Came out to say would have come out in the same draft as Calvin Johnson. When it's all said and done, Jeff Samardzija would have made more money pitching in the major leagues than Calvin Johnson made. It's not even comparable. They shouldn't even be mentioning Jeff Samardzija is not even close to being the baseball player that Calvin Johnson was as a football player. And Scott Boras is like, nah, bro, I got my name on this one. We've already said that they trusted us to go play Oklahoma. They took you as the top 10 pick. So
That's Billy Bean.
Billy
Runs
Bean.
the
Billy
Oakland
Bean,
A's.
yes.
It's like they trusted us, gave us the leeway
Yep,
to go
they did.
play, risk a lot, because football is a lot more dangerous than baseball.
Yep.
We gave them our word. We play 1 year, and we're going to come do this. Bro, I got my name on this one.
And once you sign, that means the A's can't get any compensation if you walk on that.
Correct.
If you say, I'm going to play football.
Yeah, and Skip, look at RG3. Just think of lickety split. Look, I know he's having mixed emotions, mixed feelings now because the success that he's enjoying playing football.
Yep.
But man, for me, I mean, it would be a no-brainer for me to go play baseball, especially given he's already gotten $4.5 million. Now, theoretically, he could give it back. And I read the article, Skip, that said he could make more money in football than he can in baseball. No, he can't, because it's not even close. Who's it? Joey Votto. Is he as good a baseball player as Tom Brady is a football player? Heck no. He's double Tom Brady up in salary. So it goes, it's Skip, guess what? Baseball players can play into their late 30s and early 40s too.
True.
And it's more likely they play longer than football players. So for me, it's a no-brainer. But at the end of the day, it's going to have to be what's in his heart, because I know what Scott Boras, his agent, is saying. But he's going to have to make the best decision for him. But for me, it would be a no-brainer. I'm going to play baseball.
By the way, you're assuming that Kyler will be a baseball star, and I don't know that for a fact.
Are we assuming he's going to be a football star?
Well, I don't know that for a fact, but the baseball stats don't scream star, what he did at OU the last 2 years.
Right.
But you just see little glimpses, that short, quick swing and the ball's flying out of the park. He's got home run power. And obviously, he can just flat out fly. So he can steal bases, he can run the bases. He's got a above average arm playing center field, so he can track down balls and throw it.
How about this here?
Yep.
How about he's on pace to be a better Jose Altuve as opposed to Tom Brady?
Maybe. He's compared to Ricky Henderson. You remember?
Yeah,
Ricky?
yeah.
It's that
But I'm
sort
saying
of
the
I know,
statue with
statue.
Altuve.
Okay, I hear everything you said, and it makes all the sense in the world, and capped off by the fact he's going to have to use his legs in pro football, and when you start using your legs at the next level, bad things start happening to your head sometimes,
They
right?
get you.
Okay, so I got all that, but I'm just talking about the kid I have watched every snap this year at the University of Oklahoma. He just looks like he was born to play football to me. And I get everything. You made nothing but sense, dollars and cents, and just overall SE sense.
Yes.
But it looks like football is in this kid's heart. And you just mentioned heart, and I believe he could have Russell Wilson impact in pro football. Would it be dangerous? Would it be threatening? Yeah, all that. I get that. But you know and I know, the place to play now in America, in American sports, it's the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And remember, he just got drafted by the franchise that plays in the shadow of the San Francisco Giants across the bridge and the other side of the bay. Yeah. The Oakland A's just play in the shadows. They're still trying to find a new home, and they're still stuck in their old home. And it's not exactly a spotlight place to play.
No.
And you get drafted by the right NFL team every Sunday. It is an event, man. It's what drives our show. Obviously, it's where it's at.
That
right
money.
now. Okay.
That money is there.
Okay.
Giancarlo Stanton, $327 million.
Okay.
Bryce Harper just turned down $300 million.
Okay, I got you. What is more fun to play? Football or baseball? It's just football. I'm sorry, it just is. What's more of a rush to play? It's just football. It's just playing quarterback. Is it not the glamour position in all of sports?
Well, I wish I'd have played baseball.
Well, do you?
Yeah.
I don't think you do.
Yeah, I could have been
I don't buy that.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
I would have.
I don't believe it.
I'd have been Barry Bonds.
You're in the Hall of Fame.
I'd have been in the Hall of Fame in baseball, too.
Yeah, I do not believe you.
I don't
And
believe
Skip, I asked
was
him
scared of
that,
the ball.
too, about what he preferred. I remember earlier this year, I said, what do you have more fun doing? And he was like, honestly, both. I love them both. They're so different, but I'm equally confident in both. And I think that's the confidence, cockiness you get from
Well,
him.
the difference is for him, the reason why he can't do both is he plays a quarterback position. Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders and Brian Jordan played positions that they didn't have to study immensely every single day.
That is correct.
So he can't play both.
So Deion could literally fly from one game to the other and be okay to play football after he played in the World Series.
Hey, yeah, Bo, we finna toss it to you. Go 90.
Yeah.
That ain't no studying. Ain't no Brian Jordan. Hey, knock somebody's head off and not just go track this ball down the outfield.
Okay.
As a quarterback, you don't have that luxury.
So Russell Wilson measured 5 feet 10 inches and 5/8. So he's a tick under 5'11". Is this kid 5'9 and a half? I don't know. Somewhere in there.
Well, Jenny told me Jenny told me she took her heels off. She was out there barefooted, standing out there in Texas the other night.
I wore flats.
Barefooted. Say she didn't stand on that because most of the time when Jenny interview college players, she's standing on an apple crate. I have one right here, so she can see eye to eye. They're not dwarfing over her.
Okay.
Jenny said she was looking like Brittany Griner over him.
Okay.
When she had her heels on.
It wasn't that bad.
Okay.
But
I
I'll give
hear
him the
all
half.
that. I accept all that. I'm just telling you, this kid is special on the football field, and we've seen it all year long. It wasn't 2 games. It was all year long.
For him to get selected as a top 10 baseball player, he got to be special on the baseball field.
Okay. Remember, his uncle, named Calvin Murray, got selected 7th overall by the San Francisco Giants coming out of the University of Texas, and he just busted. He just and could Kyler not make it?
Yes.
They're fast track. They say he'll be in the big leagues within 2 years, you know?
But Skip, there's always that potential with pro sports. There's no given.
Yeah.
He could. They make it seem like, oh, he's surefire gonna make it in the NFL. No, there are no surefire in pro sports.
Would he be taken in the top 20?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, he would. No. He can play, man. He can play.
I mean, I've seen this before. I mean, he's okay. So what? He's a more electric Doug Flutie because he's about the same height.
It's just Russell Wilson. He can do that.
He ain't Russell.
Yeah, he is.
No.
Yep. Sorry.
But I wonder if the Heisman will have a little bit to do with this. Maybe if he wins, will that change anything?
Tug on the heart.
Yeah.
Say, hey, this is what I do.
If I've been to be, I say, give my money back. Well, I want my $5 million, give it back, plus interest.
Okay, well, you can give it back and walk, but then your reputation is going to take a hit
because you
really,
Yeah, Scott Boras would say, nah, I need you to pay me too.
Good to have the options,
He would have to buy his way out of this.
Yeah, I need you to pay me.
I feel like I'm glad you stuck to football, too. I don't know if baseball would have been.
Yeah, because you can't trash talking baseball.
This is more your
I guess
style.
I could skip. I hit me a home run and just stand there and watch it.
Really?
All right.
Where did this thing go ever land?
What about what we saw from Derrick Henry last night? An amazing run, but was it the best ever? We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
here is the play that everybody is talking about this morning. Derrick Henry had a 99-yard touchdown run last night in the Titans' dominating win over the Jaguars. He stiff-armed 3 different Jags defenders on the run, which tied the longest in NFL history. The only other guy that had a 99-yard run was the great Tony Dorsett. His came against the Vikings in January of 1983. And Dorsett even tweeted at Henry last night saying, quote, "Rumble, young man, rumble." Shannon, what was the better run?
Oh, Henry. And Skip, these guys have more in common than you think, not just the 99-yard run. Both of these men won the Heisman. Both of these young men won the national championship. Tony Dorsett won the Super Bowl. Could a Super Bowl be in Derrick Henry's future? Skip, this was...
No.
Yeah, it might be, Skip. Stop hating. For him to do, 99 yards, and Tony's run, and I remember that in 1982, I remember watching the game. I was like, will somebody get him? Because I was hating the Cowboys way back then. But I like them now. I like the Cowboys.
Good.
I'm all Cowboy fan. But you see that stiff arm? He hit A.J. Boye with that stiff arm and said, "Get your off me." And then he's running down the field. And then here comes the linebacker at 250. Stiff arms him. He won't go away, so he throws him to the ground. And then here comes Miles Jack that can run, tackle, great tacklers. Nah, bro, I'm going all the way home. So for him, the run reminded me more of Marshawn Lynch's playoff run against the New Orleans Saints as opposed to Tony Dorsett. But because they're both 99, how symbolic. This is the 99th year of the NFL, 99-yard touchdown. And guess what? No matter what happens, Derrick Henry is in the NFL record books for his life because you can't have a longer offensive touchdown than 99 yards.
That is true. So I agree with giving Derrick Henry the slight edge, but I do wonder, is there a little asterisk because Jacksonville is giving up on defense, or
what
maybe
you mean giving?
Gave up. Is it possible they just lost heart? I hate to say they quit because they kept him out of the end zone for his 5th touchdown. Remember, Miles Jack.
And they're celebrating.
Okay, but that's all they got left.
Skip, you just gave up 240.
Okay, I got it. And he's not anybody who's ever had anywhere close to this.
No.
Right? This is by far his biggest game.
Well, he had that monster game in the playoffs against Kansas City.
Yep,
but nothing like this.
Not like this.
This high school days.
So I was there that night. It was actually in very early 1983, January the 3rd, in your hometown.
Yeah.
I don't know where you were at that point. I'm trying to decide.
Not anywhere.
Not anywhere.
Just being a thought.
Was that 83 or 82?
It was early. It was January 3rd of 83. It's the 82 season.
It's 82 season, okay.
Yeah. So it's the strike-shortened season. So Minnesota was pretty good. They were going to creep into the playoffs at 5-4. But that was the night, and I wrote about this in my first Cowboy book, that a lot of players pointed to as the beginning of the end of the dynasty, because the night before, according to several players, there were many women up on the off-limits floor who were not supposed to be there after curfew, and they were just completely out of control as a football team, and they lost that night when they were pretty...
They got blown out, if I'm not mistaken.
It was 31-27. Tommy Kramer threw a late touchdown pass to win the game. Tommy Kramer.
Did you like Tommy Kramer?
So I did. But the point was, they were so discombobulated on that play that Tony Dorsett broke that Ron Springs, I love Ron Springs, stuck his head in the huddle and heard the wrong call and thought he was supposed to be out of the game and ran off the field. So they executed 99 yards with 10 men on the field because Tony's a single setback on this play. There's Braun was supposed to block for him. Because they're stuck. It's going to be a short yardage play on the goal line. Try to get 1 yard, 2 yards. And all of a sudden, Tony slipped through. Tony has quite an advantage over Derrick Henry. Tony was one of the fastest players in football. Seriously. He had rare world-class speed. I saw him race some people. Remember Doug Donnelly, White Lightning?
Yeah.
He challenged him one time to a 40 before practice, and Tony just annihilated him.
I think didn't Tony remember Skip Superstars? Remember they used to have that on the Superstar competition?
Yeah.
Come on, I think it was ABC. I think that was the network.
It was.
And they have guys. Rest his soul, Joe Frazier liked to drive. They had a swimming competition. He couldn't swim a lick. But I remember that. But anyway, Skip, for him to do this, Derrick Henry, 99 yards, that's a lot. But to maintain your balance, because he's really close to the sideline, and to A.J. Boye, he really never. And you know this about Derrick Henry. You got to go low, because if you go up high, he's going to stiff on you. He's going to hit you in your face. He's going to hit you in your chest. And he's going to push you off. And he kept going. So this was an unbelievable run. Skip, but I got upset with the Jags. Because, as you mentioned, they kept him out of it. Well, they started with Deion Lewis. Because Derrick Henry said, nah, let Deion get it. I'm good.
He did.
Because Derrick is like, this is going to mess up my average. Right now, I'm sitting at like 19 yards a carry. I don't want to mess up my average with a little 2-yard touchdown run. although it would be nice to have 5 rushing touchdowns,
Yep.
you're going to kill my average. So he's like, let Deion do it. Somehow, the head coach talks him into going back in. They stuff him. They celebrate. I'm like, dude, do you realize he still has 17 carries for 238 and 4 touchdowns? And you celebrating like 6 and 7-year-olds that got everything they expected for Christmas from Santa Claus. What are you celebrating?
Yep, they won the Super Bowl.
And man, I was like, man, I said, I can't believe you guys.
Yep.
But this was an unbelievable run. Derrick Henry, Skip, you know, in high school, he only had 1 game in which he rushed for 100 yards. All the rest of the game was between 200 and 500.
Wow.
So he's had games like this before.
Yeah, but you want to talk about man among boys.
He was.
That's incredible.
And he was the exact same size in high school as he is right
he hasn't
now.
changed. We're going to remember that one. It was cool to see. What about this one, though? The Ravens defense. Are they going to shut down Patrick Mahomes on Sunday?
Here we go.
Shannon shaking his head. We'll discuss next.
Yeah.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. The Chiefs host the Ravens on Sunday. Kansas City leads the league at 37 points per game, while the Ravens are giving up the fewest in the NFL. Ravens defensive coordinator Wink Martindale said yesterday that Tyreek Hill is the fastest human being he has ever seen wear a helmet, and added the Chiefs offense can, quote, slaughter you. Shannon, do you give Baltimore any shot?
Man, I think Wink Martindale need to go into politics because he can tell him with a straight face and don't even bat an eye, Skip Bayless. But I will agree, Tyreek Hill is one of the fastest men I've ever seen in the helmet also, Skip.
Yep.
Can they win? Sure, they can win. They can shorten the game. Got a great running attack. Lamar Jackson can run the football. The question is, can they get to a high enough point total? Lamar Jackson has yet to throw for at least 180 yards in a football game. So I believe the Kansas City Chiefs jump out early and force them to play the type of game they don't want to play, which is throw the football in order to play catch up. Can they win? Yes. I don't believe they will win. I think the Chiefs will win by at least 14 points.
And I got Wink Martindale's team.
Okay.
Oh, look, you taking Baltimore.
Yeah.
Taking some dude?
I'm taking Baltimore.
Taking
Nope,
some
no, dude.
Come on,
No,
Skip.
I'm not. I don't do this.
No, dude.
I'm way out on the limb on this one. Way out there.
But you sound so
Baltimore is number 1 in the NFL in yards allowed and in points allowed, and they have just the kind of veteran, nasty defense that can cause your guy, your homeboy, Mahomes' boy, some problems.
Okay.
And I think they will cause them some problems, and I think there are going to be some turnovers that will happen. And again, with Fluco at quarterback, they had lost 3 in a row, and then Lamar Jackson took over, and they've won 3 in a row. Maybe they're not the most impressive opponents, but I like the way they play with Lamar, and he is the flip side of Patrick Mahomes, right?
Yeah.
And yet, here he comes, and I think they will pull out, they'll keep the score low enough to pull it out.
No mercy.
Thank you for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Keep an eye out for the weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning, featuring this week's best segments. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.